Let's get it rocking and rolling here on a Wednesday afternoon. Trying a different time. I've had a lot of people say, James, I wish you'd do it this time. This is a better time for me. So we've tried like our fourth or fifth time over the last 6, 7 shows on our Wednesday lives. We've gone like at noon. We've gone at 2 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Eastern. Last week's I actually think was the one that was the least successful as far as audience, which was 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to talk some Michigan football Bowling Green preview prediction. A lot of familiar faces around this Bowling Green program that many of you may remember. Also going to look at injuries on the secondary. Also talk some wide receivers. You've got Tyler Morris back in the lineup, and for the most part in the second game after getting in the first game, but really not making much of an impact. Then we're going to talk some Jim Harbaugh, JJ McCarthy, and more. We'll also take your questions. So use hashtag Michigan or always super chat, and you will get on our live mailbag show that will go up on the channel on Friday. Jack, I am getting a little bit of my own like reverberation there, so I don't know if we've got your mic up. There we go, a little better. But either way, just want to make sure that we're not reverberating in people's ears as well. But let's go shout out your city. Let me know. Mike K says stick with 5. It's perfect for me. Appreciate that. We're gonna probably honestly make a decision after today on a set time going forward. Just trying some new things. Just like the Michigan football team, right? You try one guy at a position, he's working out, great. You keep him there. Might try a guy at one position 1 week, like last year, Cade McNamara, JJ McCarthy. Make a decision. We're doing that early on in the season before we end Big Ten play. Want to have a set time. So shout out your city. We got Keith Longhurst from Grand Rapids. We got Bosa from Chris Ferrand. Saginaw from Matthew Schmiggy. I hope I'm pronouncing that, Matthew. West Palm Beach from Brent DeVries. Aiken, South Carolina from John Clements. Dallas, which sucks. A-Train 132. I'm in Dallas as well. Flint, Michigan from Mike K. Tampa, Florida, as with Chris Ferrand. He gave the Bosa and the Tampa, Florida. So keep shouting out your city. We're going to let the audience build up like we always do. We're not, everything's not appointment viewing on YouTube like it is on television. So we will let people get going here for the next 5 to 8 minutes or so. So keep shouting out your city. I'll be doing shout-outs every few moments as we look down. Barberton, Ohio, about 30 minutes from where I live from. We've got a $10 super chat from Dylan Carson. Dylan Carson, you are getting yourself a helmet sticker, my man. Thank you for the super chat. Is he a first-timer? I don't know. No, you have seen Dylan give one before. So Dylan Carson, let me get you on the hard hat. And you are going on the end screen of the show, September 13th. Dylan is on there with a $10 super chat. And we're going to tell you guys about, Dylan, you also have an entry into a T-shirt giveaway that we're going to do in between our second and third segments of today's show. Dylan Carson, right there, my man. You are on the hard hat. I've got 3 of these to give away. We didn't do one the first 2 games, so this Saturday we're going to pick 3 people watching to send the hard hats to after the game. So Dylan Carson, you are on the hard hat, and you will be on our end screen after the season starting in March. So thank you so much to Dylan for the $10 super chat. Jay Nagal for QB2, though. It seems like that's where this is going, right? He got in the game before Alex Orji, and Jim Harbaugh said, hey, he probably should have gone in early. There was some miscommunication between the assistant coaches and what Harbaugh's intentions were. Harbaugh, obviously watching the game from home, was doing the chain gang and his son's football game, all that different stuff. So I think with Jim Harbaugh in there next week, they'll get things straightened out, but hopefully this week as well. It looks like it's a battle right now for Jaden Denegal and Alex Orji. I think that it's the right move, right? Now, if JJ McCarthy had to be out for a game or two, especially against a big-time opponent like a Penn State or maybe even a Maryland or Michigan State, someone like that, Minnesota, would Denegal or Orji get the run to be the starting quarterback for Michigan if McCarthy was ever out with an injury or couldn't play for some reason? I'm not still sure about that. I think Michigan may be like, wait, we're going to develop these guys, but if we're in a pinch, we might default to Jack Tuttle, who's got some game experience, had a start under his belt at Indiana, or Davis Warren, who's been around the program for 4 years. So appreciate this. I think we're going to find out a lot of what Michigan thinks of these 2 players, Orji and Denegal, given that they're 40-point favorites over Bowling Green. Expect to see those guys in at worst middle of the third quarter. I'll ask you guys this question. As Cynthia Kaufman is from Minnesota, Ronan 4580 from Frisco, Texas, about 40 minutes in traffic, 25 minutes no traffic north of where we're at in Dallas, downtown Dallas, Frisco, Texas, in the house from Ronan 4580. PBMC says Maryland here. Jack used to live in the Frisco area when he first moved to Dallas about 2.5 years ago. More yards this week, rushing yards or passing yards. It's usually it's an oxymoron or dumb question, whatever you want. It's a rhetorical question, I think I was trying to say there. It's usually always rushing for Michigan, especially against these weaker opponents. Michigan gets 180 yards in the first half passing. They don't pass really the rest of the game. Last 2 weeks, though, it has been 2-1 passing to rushing. Michigan has had it moving all over the passing game. JJ throwing much more than we would have expected him to. A couple years ago, he only threw like 17 times in the home opener. Last year, mid-20s. This past couple weeks, JJ threw 30 times himself in the opener, and then 25. And he was throwing, into the middle of the third quarter and not just kind of resting after halftime like Michigan has in the past. So will Michigan get it going on the rushing? It seems like rushing is the answer from Keith. Tim Baker says passing yards, go blue. Bosa. Zach says passing as well. Aubrey Baker, James, we might need to switch it up to beat Penn State again. It might end up being the point game. Well, I like that one. But remember that Michigan really hasn't had a ton of trouble beating Penn State over the years. I mean, hell, 1997 to like 2003, Michigan went like 8 straight years of beating Penn State. So hasn't been that tough. 2020, obviously, Penn State came into the Big House and beat Michigan's butt when Michigan was kind of falling apart. Last 2 years, Michigan got the win on the road in 21. Eric Hall from Cade McNamara, and then last year at the Big House wasn't really that much of a contest in the second half. Michigan just ran all over the Nittany Lions. You are watching the Michigan Football Report. Thank you everyone for joining us, as we have now 56 people watching here currently. 3 o'clock. It is now 3:07 Eastern on Wednesday. Go ahead and like the video if you can. Likes gets this in the feed of more people who follow the show, subscribe to the show here on YouTube, and Michigan football fans that have never watched us in the past. That's really how YouTube thinks about live shows early on. First 20 minutes, how many likes can the show get compared to their audience? So we've got 20 likes right now on 56 live viewers. So we need 8 more likes to have that rate. 50% of the live viewers have kind of liked it. So if you can, hit that like button. Costs you nothing. Helps out the show. And if you want more Michigan football content, we've got to have an audience and build that to keep the ball rolling as time goes on. So let me ask you guys this question as we continue to roll. Name a recruit you have followed closest over the years. I saw a ton of really great questions or really great answers to this question in the live chat. In the comments of yesterday's video. I said a few, right? Going back in time, Justin King, if you guys remember him, was a top 10 national recruit, 5-star cornerback, spurned Michigan for Penn State. I think it was in the 2005 class he was, because I remember in the 2005 season, him and Mario Manningham going up against each other. Manningham got the best of Smith Justin King in Ann Arbor on that last-second game, especially Chad Henne to Mario Manningham for the win, but throughout that game. Other one, Ronald Johnson, class of 2007 from Michigan, state of Michigan. He spurned Michigan, went out to USC, had a decent career, but really didn't turn into be the player that I think a lot of people thought that he was going to be. Most recently, JJ McCarthy, right? Committed, I think I should still remember the date, May 11th. It was the day of Tom's wedding, funny enough, Jack, you forgive that. Sitting in Cincinnati, Ohio at a bar with Mitch and Brett, funny enough, and McCarthy committed to Michigan on a Saturday afternoon. Followed that one because I was nervous after 2 years go by, COVID happens, all this stuff, that he might decide not to go to Michigan anymore, especially after the 2020 season. Stuck with it. And then Donovan Edwards, right, was a Michigan kind of lean, but Georgia, Ohio State were all over him. He decided to go with Michigan there on signing day. Tom Brady from Keith Longhurst. If that's Tom Brady, man, you've been following the recruiting game for a while. Back in the class of 1995, the greatest recruiting class in the history of mankind, right? You had the Fab Five. 4 years later, you had the 95 Michigan class with Charles Woodson and Tom Brady in the same recruiting class. Maybe not in rankings, but in outcome, those guys were the best. Rashawn Gary from Brent DeVries, a really good one as well. Jabril Peppers, another New Jersey guy. 2 big-time 5-stars, top 5 players. Gary, number 1 overall. Jabril, number 2, 3, 4, 5 player in the country, depending on which service you use. Keith says he's been a longtime fan. Thank you so much for supporting the program. I'm guessing longtime fan and now being part of our program. So keep those rolling. I'll give some more shout-outs. The recruit that you follow the longest, or the recruiting saga you remember the most. A couple more questions here before we get into our news and rumors and injury updates. Who has the most catches? I think it'll be one of these 3 guys for the team, but if you want to have a write-in vote, you can too. But give me an R, a C, or a D. Rowan Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, Donovan Edwards. All of them have right around 9 passes, so 9 catches or so on the year, 9, 10 catches. 2 games, they've each had 4 or 5 catches. So I think this is a pretty good guess that one of these 3 will lead Michigan in catches. Also the pin pulse, if you want to vote in the live chat, R, C, or D. Right now, 78% of the people think it's going to be Roman Wilson, Mr. 5 touchdowns himself. Cornelius Johnson with 9% of the vote. Donovan Edwards with 13. of the vote. And in the live chat here, it's RRRRC. And Aubrey Baker says, I'm calling it now. Morris has the best game. Interesting. Keep an eye out for that one, Aubrey. If that's what happens, you can come back and say, I told you so. We'll remember that one. Terrell Pryor took us for a ride, too. That's actually a pretty good one. Terrell Pryor is a good one. Jack, you might not remember this. Rich Rod hired as Michigan's coach mid-December of 2007 as Lloyd Carr retired. And then Carr was still running the program through the bowl game. Rich Rod got on Terrell Pryor as Michigan didn't really have any quarterback to speak of on the roster after Chad Henne went to the pros. Ryan Mallett, rest in peace, decided to transfer. And went after the number one player in the country in his first kind of half recruiting class. Ultimately, Pryor waited about a month after signing day, really strung Michigan along, ended up signing with Ohio State. So you know how that one goes. He took us for a ride. Some people say it was a con by Ohio State, like make Michigan think you're getting him, make him leave other recruits out there, wait till after signing day, then come to us. So Michigan gets spurned for all the quarterbacks they could have been after at that time. Colson Loveland from Scott. I didn't really follow that one that closely, but that's a pretty good one. And then Cheryl coming in from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Got 31 likes on the video, 70 people watching. So make sure if you're coming in now, give a like on the show. We are going to talk Michigan football news and rumors, Liz. News, things that are out there, give you my opinion on them, and some rumors on injuries and what we can expect from a game plan this week. Then I'm going to take your questions. So throughout the day, right now you can start any of the questions you have. I'm going to put you on screen. Use hashtag Michigan. Just type hashtag Michigan at the end, the beginning, anywhere in your answer. It pops you right up to the top of the queue, just like a call-in radio show. But we do it with the hashtag with our software here on the show. So give me a hashtag Michigan on any of your questions if you want them featured in our mailbag. And then we're going to go over Michigan Bowling Green, right? Bowling Green is kind of like Michigan of the South, not in winning, but anyways, but their coaching staff, their development staff is got a lot of Michigan faces, so we'll talk about that here in a few moments. But we got something fun today for you guys. Giveaway and entertainment. It's all one thing. So any super chat, $1 or higher, you can put any single amount. We want to make sure that everyone is included in this one. We are going to do a t-shirt giveaway. So any super chat gets you into the duck race. What's the duck race? I'm going to show you it in just a moment. But the winner of the duck race, so $1 super chat or higher, gets you in the race. And then the winner of that, we're going to do that between our second and third segment. So probably about 40 minutes from now, do the duck race. You're going to get this Michigan football long sleeve tee. So our guy, Mitchell Renz, Zach Jenkins, actually went to Bowling Green. I went to the University of Toledo, so this is kind of a multiple win for me here, Bowling Green. Michigan beats them. Toledo has their rival take a loss, so I'll take it. Did you hear Jack Harbaugh told Jim that BG was going to come up here and kick our ass? Jack, former BG assistant way back in the day. So, no, Jack Harbaugh, Jim's dad. You're young Harbaugh, Jack Flatteray. So we're going to give this away later in the show. So what is a duck race? So anyone who super chats, send $1 in. You get an entry in this, and we're going to shout your name. You're going to be part of it. I think it would be a pretty fun thing. So stick with us for the next minute. I'm going to roll the footage from Mitchell Renz, the host of our show, Raiders Report by Chat Sports. He did this on his show Sunday during the Raiders win. Who'd they play again, Jack? Do you remember who the Raiders played? The Raiders win over the Broncos Sunday. So everyone who got in with his super chat battle, they got their name in there. And there was quite a few of them, dozens of people here. Roll that tape for about the next minute. This is what a duck race is.
Fox earlier on today's show. Shout out to Raul. All right, remember, whoever wins this duck race, you get yourself a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. And 3. Hang on, I got a burp. 2, 1, go! And off to an early start. I think somebody with Hernandez. Out to a lead. Oh, look at Kale. Brandon Jasper, Kale Loza, Silverface, Amber J, off to a lead. Yeah, I don't know who that is. We got, watch out for LA Crash Dog, Tom Wilk, early lead here. Raider X, a.k.a. Albert Moy, Purple Walrus, falls back behind. Watch out for Taino back there. The Great Tuna also up top. Mr. J Wolf making a little bit of a surge, but right now it's Tuna, Chewy, Paul Brewer, all at the front of the line here. 20 seconds, Chewy's making a strong pull. But wait, Armando Hernandez, Taino Raider. This is going to be neck and neck. Armando, Taino. Oh, wait, he's falling back. Watch out for Rabe. Who's going to make the Michael Says? Michael Says! Michael Says!
All right, so we're going to recreate the fun there. I thought it was pretty cool that Mitch did that, had all of his viewers who sent in a super chat give rolling. They gave her a jersey, or they have a bigger show than us. So we're going to give away a T-shirt to start. We'll try and do one on Saturday as well. We actually are going to do one on Saturday. So if you join us, we will be live during the Michigan Bowling Green game, 30 minutes prior to the game, 45 minutes after the game, do a full post-game show. We're going to do a 50-50 raffle, but it's going to be via Venmo. Why via Venmo? Well, it's pretty simple. YouTube takes 30% of all of the super chat dollars that come in on the show. So if we get $100, that's 30. Plus they take sales tax out there, so that 100 turns out to be like $65. And we don't want to kind of have them take a taste of a super chat. So if you want to be in the 50-50 raffle, so what does that mean? If we get $100 from people, $5 to enter is the thing. Here's my Venmo right here. You can take a screenshot of this and scan the QR code, or it's just at James-Yoder-1. Send me a Venmo. $5 gets you into the duck race for Saturday, but we're also going to do one today. So again, Saturday is a Venmo. $5 gets you an entry. 50-50 raffle. So we get $100. The winner of the duck race in Saturday, we're doing halftime or second half, gets half the money. I'll Venmo it back to them, whatever the number is. And then today's is going to be any $1 Ohio Super Chat gets you in the duck race later on in the show. So send a Venmo if you want. It's at James-Yoder-1. Tell me what your screen name is here on YouTube so we can give proper attribution on Saturday. So get that rolling. Don't wait till Saturday, but we'll make sure to tell you about that throughout the rest of the week and put it on the YouTube community channel and Twitter and all that stuff. All right, before we start the show, we need to light up the chat with Bosa. Ohio State, they've got a weak game, Western Kentucky this week, but next week they go to Notre Dame, and if they win that one, they're going to have all kinds of confidence, so we can't forget about our confidence. So need 100 people to type Bosa in the live chat, and we will get rolling with the show. You can do it twice, so I guess it doesn't have to be people. 100 times type Bosa in the live chat. I'm going to join in there as well. I'm going to do a triple Bosa right there. Bosa. All right, beat Ohio State again. Look, Michigan's going to be favored. At this point, I'd say if the game was tomorrow, the game was this weekend, based on how the teams have played, Michigan would probably be favored by 10 points, maybe more, maybe 10, maybe 11, 12 points. Ohio State still undefeated, though, still have wild amount of talent all over the field. They just haven't really figured it out on offense, and their defense has had quite a few lapses, just like they did last year throughout their first two games. Indiana, and then Youngstown State. So we'll see. Got a lot of Bosas going, so let's get to about 25 more Bosas. Tim Baker, Brent DeVries, Netmag in the house, Zach Jenkins, Iceman Comp 25, Ronan 4580, Brent DeVries as well with the Bosas. Zach Jenkins, I think I mentioned him, Roger Jones, Sean Paul Anthony, Keith Longhurst, Green Arrow, Keith Longhurst again with the Enjoy Logan, and I wonder what that app was. I'm getting back up here in the chat. I'm going to scroll back down. I'm going to go to the Bosas. Mark Muchkowski. So we probably aren't near 100 yet, but I want to get the start rolling. So let's get 5 more Bosas. We got one from Akil, A-K-I-L. 4 more Bosas, and we'll get the ball rolling. Bosa from the Marshall Homestead. Thank you so much for watching the Marshall Homestead. I'm not sure if we've seen the Marshall Homestead in the live chat before. We got one from Tim Baker. 2 more Bosas, and Jack Latteray. Producer Harbaugh, producer Young Harbaugh is going to press that button to get today's show rocking and rolling. So let's take a look back here. We got it. We got the Bosas. So I was clicking all over the place, Jack. Let me get back to my my show script because I clicked it over on the wrong monitor, like a complete dope. No, I think I actually got rid of the my script somehow. I clicked off it like a complete dope. Give me a second here, Jack. I will be right with you. Guys, appreciate it. I have got my show script up with what we're going to next, and Jack's going to message me. There you go. Somehow I just clicked, I shut my window down, Jack. So we will go. All right, now we are good to go. Got a lot of Bosas to give more shout-outs. Beat Georgia from Logan Zirkle. I think Georgia's going down Saturday, so I tweeted this out a little bit ago. People are talking some trash. James, you're crazy. James, you're this and that. Well, I'm feeling confident about Michigan being number 1 in the country come Sunday. Georgia, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. They are playing South Carolina, who beat the big boys last year, right? South Carolina, end of the year, November on. They beat Tennessee, who was a top 10 team. They beat Clemson last year. I think they're going to beat Georgia on Saturday, which I believe will make Michigan number 1 in the country, despite people saying, oh, it's going to be Tennessee, or it's going to be, Florida State, or it's going to be Texas number 1. I don't know. Michigan number 2, as long as they take care of business against Bowling Green. I'm predicting, hopefully, that they will be the number 1 team in all of college football come Sunday afternoon. It is the Michigan Football Report. Mark Muchkowski says Bosa. Nathan Wearsome says Bosa. And Logan Zirkle says agreed. Ronan 4580. Bosa today. Tomorrow, Bosa forever. Let's get it rolling. The latest news and rumors around this Michigan football team coming up right now. On today's Michigan Football Report, we are going to give you a quick injury update, then talk about some defensive stars that have been emerging over 2 weeks and likely into the future for this program, mostly in the secondary, some guys that are really starting to show up, and then uniform combo on Saturday night. Now, we know what they're wearing for pants, but does that mean we know everything about this uniform combo? And then talk some about the Michigan passing attack with JJ McCarthy, who, in my opinion, is emerging as a Heisman Trophy, very strong Heisman Trophy candidate for this Michigan football team. But want to remind you guys, I'll let you guys know that we are presented by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using promo code GOBLUE. They've got some great products. I love the Beard Hedger, and they've got a new one that I'm going to tell you about here later on in today's show. The request I'm going to have from you guys today, JJ McCarthy had 278 yards passing on Saturday, this past Saturday, against UNLV. 278 yards passing. Can we get more likes on the website, comments on today's video? Can we get more comments than JJ had passing yards? So if you want to help us reach that goal that was put in front of us by our live team here at the company, they said, okay, JJ had 278. Let's get 279 comments. Go ahead and comment down below. Story number one here on today's show was, what is going on with injuries in the secondary? Is it cause for concern, or is it just Michigan coaching staff, Jim Harbaugh, the training staff, etc.? Is it just them being cautious in these games? They know they can sit, honestly, basically anybody as long as the entire team's not sitting, and still beat the first 3, 4, hell, even 5 potential games on this 2023 schedule. So here's what we know on the injury report for Saturday night against Bowling Green. Will Johnson, we weren't sure if he was going to play this past week against UNLV. He did get in there, although I still am uncertain. I went back and watched the tape. It's really sometimes tough to tell if a guy plays in a certain down unless you see a certain camera angle. But I think by the second drive for UNLV, at least Will Johnson was in the game. So he played a bunch and was back in there. Good to see there wasn't anything serious. He missed all spring practice after the injury coming out of the TCU game. Makari Paige, we think he is going to be playing as well. He got 10 snaps in the opener and then didn't play last week at all, which was kind of a surprise. He was listed as doubtful heading into the game. And then Rod Moore, I think he's doubtful for this week. We haven't seen Rod Moore, who was really an All-American candidate going to the season, but looks like he's going to miss his third straight game with an injury, an undisclosed injury, lower leg injury, something like that. Michigan is being very dodgy in what is ailing Rod Moore. So I just want to kind of throw it out there. What do you guys think? Is it cautious or is it concern? Let me know what you think. I lean on cautious. I think if Michigan played Notre Dame to start the year, let's say in that first game, I think Makari Paige and Will Johnson would have played. Now, Rod Moore is a little bit different one. I think that's one that may have set out no matter what. But he has been replaced in some way, maybe not forever, but for at least for these games, by Keon Saab, right? So 2 or 3 players from this list here. This is the guys who are leading this program from snap count. And what does this group of 5 guys kind of say to you right now? Well, 4 of the 5 you've never really seen at all play for Michigan, right? Quentin Johnson, been with the program for 4 years. I never even seen him on the field really until the game against TCU. All of a sudden, Quentin Johnson's in the game at safety in Michigan's biggest game of the year. He's been in the game a bunch, 63 snaps through 2 games. Keon Saab, he's the most snaps in this entire team by 20, right? By 20 over the next player through 2 games, at least on defense by 20, I should say. Keyshawn Harris, 5th-year guy, walk-on. Now he's a scholarship player. He's gotten back-to-back starts at cornerback with Will Johnson not starting either game. Josh Wallace, the transfer over there from UMass with 60 snaps. So this has kind of been your secondary for the most part. Obviously, Mikey Sanderson been with the program a couple years starting as wide receiver, or in the mix, top 3-4 wide receivers. Last year was maybe Michigan's MVP at that nickel spot, made the player of the year, knocking the ball away from Cade Stover in the end zone against Ohio State in that game when the Buckeyes are trying to get down to a field goal in that one. So predict the score for me for this game. Michigan, Bowling Green. Let me know your score predictions. Have I made a score prediction yet this week, Jack? I don't think I have. I have not made a score prediction. I'm going to think of one, and I'll give it to you. So I'm going to go with Michigan. I've been jaded because they haven't been scoring so much. I'm going to temper my expectations. I'm going to say Michigan 45-3. Go down in the comments or the live chat if you're watching live. Reply to my pinned comment or put it in the live chat. Your score prediction for Michigan, Bowling Green on Saturday. I'm going to say 45-3. Stick with us, though, for this ad break from Manscaped. That Michigan Football Report is presented by Manscaped. Folks, go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code GOBLUE, no spaces, promo code GOBLUE, 20% off and free shipping. Fellas, are you running into stubble trouble? Are you dreaming of that clean-shaven look but hate going through the hassle of a wet shave every day? I know you are. That's why we partner with Manscaped, the best products for male grooming in the game. Manscaped is the brand for below the waist and is coming to save your beautiful face. Yes, sir. Manscaped now has beard products and is going a step further with the launch of their brand new Handyman electric face shaver. I absolutely love it. This thing just showed up my front door. It is amazing. It's designed to give your face that smooth and chiseled finish without the mess of a traditional shave. Make sure to join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer, 20% off, free shipping. Got to use promo code GOBLUE. The link is in the comments description and in the live chat here on the Michigan Football Report. This bad boy is amazing. I absolutely love it. The Handyman from Manscaped. You don't want to have to break out the shaving cream and the shaver every day to go down to a clean shaver. Zoom, right off there. Manscaped's taking care of you below the belt. They're taking care of you, on your chest. They've got shampoo. They've got conditioner. They've got deodorant. They've got beard products, both for trimming your beard and now with the Handyman shaving your beard. Manscaped.com, promo code GOBLUE, 20% off and free shipping. When the secondary is healthy, though, watch out. Because you think about the 5 guys who have had the most snaps, okay? 4 of those 5 guys we've never, as I just said, never really done much in a Michigan uniform coming up into the season. So who's not been on that list, right? Well, certainly McCarry Paige hasn't played many snaps. Rod Moore hasn't played many snaps. Will Johnson, Rod Moore hasn't played any snaps. Will Johnson has only gone in for, a dozen or so snaps on this season. When you get those guys, those younger players who will most likely be backups, 2 or 3 of them later in the year, when you're getting them those great game action like you are now when the game isn't in jeopardy, I think it could only help. I look back to the spring practice. Diamond Edwards wasn't in spring practice. Blake Corum wasn't in spring practice. What happened from there? In my opinion, I was talking about it all spring, all summer, is that Michigan was forced to develop 3rd and 4th string running backs. We haven't really seen that develop just yet. But figure out their passing game, right? Put the ball in JJ McCarthy's hand more and more to develop the downfield, more short and intermediate passing game, which worked out, and we've seen it through 2 games. JJ McCarthy's throwing the ball at an 87% completion rate. So I'm guessing once you get your stars, McCarry Paige, but mostly Rod Moore and Will Johnson, 2 really stars of that secondary. Those guys back in the secondary, you're going to go 8 deep on your secondary with guys with meaningful playing time. That's going to pay off when you face Penn State, when you face Maryland and Josh Geddes and that vaunted passing attack. But most importantly, when you face Ohio State and then, of course, Georgia, likely in the national championship game. So good things from Michigan's defense in the secondary, dealing with the injuries and getting guys playing time. Want to update you guys on our subscriber battle from last week. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed to the channel last week. We were called out by the host of our Alabama Football Report. So good news for us. Michigan beats Alabama. Just like in the polls right now, Alabama's dropped down to, 10, 12 or something like that after losing to Texas. Michigan, number 2. It's going to stay that way for a long time, I believe. Beat them in the subscriber battle here on YouTube. And I think we're going to make Chris and Tom, Jack, they're going to have to be our butlers at some point when they're here in the office here in Dallas. So might get myself some free cleaning service for a couple days from the host and producer of that show because they challenged us and we beat them by 28 subscribers. So big shout out to everyone who subscribed. And then reminder, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Now is the time. We'll be live on Saturday night for Michigan Bowling Green Watch Party Saturday night. We will be live 30 minutes prior to the game for a pregame show, 7 o'clock Eastern. I'll have a camera on me with Jack the entire show. We're doing Stupid Human Tricks live, play-by-play, taking your questions. And then we'll stay live for about 45 minutes after the game, a complete post-game Michigan football report. On Saturday, Michigan is going to be wearing blue uniforms, but are they? Michigan players were doing media availability yesterday, and a couple players let it out that they're wearing blue pants. And that was taken by people, the media, I've saw on Twitter and all this different stuff. A couple YouTube channels put some stuff out there about it. So Michigan's wearing all blue uniforms, all blue uniforms, all blue uniforms. Okay, cool. Let's talk about where we've been with these blue uniforms. So Michigan's worn them 12 times in their history, the most notable one being when they launched them during the Jim Harbaugh era. Right around this time, 2 years ago, it was actually this past weekend, Game 2, which I think really was the reemergence of this Michigan football program. Coming off of a COVID year with no fans in the stands, 2-4 season, That place was just absolutely electric. A maze out. The pom-poms are going crazy. Night game. Washington coming in to play Michigan. They could beat them. The Wolverines, are they any good, etc. Blue uniforms, the blue outs, and it was a dynamite atmosphere, and Michigan played terrific, right? 11-1 they are in blue pants in program history, 7-0 at home. The only loss was a couple years ago in the college football playoff to Georgia when Michigan wore the all blue. So pretty safe to say they're going to beat Bowling Green, I think, in these. But my question is this. Blue pants, but what jerseys? That really wasn't disclosed, and I don't think they're going to go crazy, right? They always wear whites on the road, so I'm guessing that whites on the road is going to stay. I don't think they're going to wear white jerseys at home. They could if they wanted to. But there was a rumor all summer long, kind of May, June, July, I kept hearing it. Then August camp hit, and you didn't hear anything about it. Tried to get some inside info. The program didn't really hear anything substantial on it, so I just dismissed it. That must have just been a rumor. But there's been a long-standing rumor that Michigan's first night game of the year, they're going to do the inverse. Maize jerseys they've worn once, 2017 against Florida in the opener. They were the all maize. No rumor that way. So no one said they're wearing all blues yet. I think they will, but I wouldn't be like 10% chance I'm giving it that they'll do the inverse jerseys that Nike and Jordan Brand mocked up a while back, but we've never seen on the field. So just keep an eye out for that. I doubt it's going to happen, but keep an eye out for it. It's something that they could surprise us with, which this football team has done several times in the past. We got a $20 super chat from Iceman Comp we'll get to in just a moment. But I ask you guys this question. What is your favorite uniform combo for this program? Of all the uniform combos we've seen Michigan wear over the years, which one is your favorite? I'm still going to go with the traditional home uniforms, blue tops, maize bottoms. But I do like when they have the accents, right? A couple times they wore blue tops, maize bottoms with the all maize sleeves and wristbands and gloves and shoes and socks, shoelaces, etc. I love the all maize swagged out. I really also like the road uniforms they wore with maize pants and just swagged out all maize accessories with white jerseys against Penn State in 2021, when the rumor was that Michigan wanted to wear all maize road uniforms in that game. Penn State, because of their home team, put the kibosh on it. So maybe this will be the time we see an inverse uniform, maize jersey, blue pants, but I'm giving it like a 10% chance. Story number 2 here on the show is, what does the wide receiver group look like other than Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson? Because we saw Frederick Moore get the start in a lot of ways, right? He was out there with the first group of players in the opener, and then we later saw Tyler Morris, who was supposed to be the starter, but he didn't start that game. So it's like, well, is Morris hurt? No, he got 10 snaps. So where are we at with these guys? In the second game, if you count your 3 receivers in your starting lineup, it's safe to say that Tyler Morris is a starter. 2 games, he is the 3rd leading wide receiver for snap count, 38 snaps. Frederick Moore is in the action, but most of his snaps were in that opener. Carmelo English has got some good playing time, 10, 12, 13 snaps of each of the 2 games. Frederick Moore, his playing time was reduced in game 2 with the emergence of Tyler Morris back to full health. Right? I think Morris may have been banged up a little bit. They still got him in the game, but he really wasn't a full participant in the opener. Frederick Moore, true freshman from St. Louis, kind of a 3-star-ish. Didn't really expect much of him early, but he has definitely played in this game early. Reduced his snaps in game 2, 13 snaps against UNLV, down from the 22 that he had in the opener against East Carolina. So we'll see if he continues to emerge. But I like to see Tyler Morris solidify himself at the number 3 spot, if that is his position, if he's really the 3rd best receiver on this team, because next year he's going to be the man, Tyler Morris. But you really got to develop Frederick Moore and others to make sure that Michigan has a competent wide receiver group going into what will be a real transitional year for this program in 2024. Let's look at Roman Wilson, a level deeper on him through 2 games, 10 catches, 167 yards, averaging 16.7 per catch, 5 touchdowns, 4 of those being in the red zone, 1 being a 47-yarder from JJ McCarthy, just a perfectly placed ball from McCarthy as Wilson streaked across your screen from the top of it to the bottom of it and skirted up the left sideline, the Michigan sideline, for a touchdown against UNLV. He's getting all those passes from JJ McCarthy, 87% completion percentage so far this season. McCarthy's been on absolute fire. I think the most impressive thing so far for JJ McCarthy right now, to me at least, is just the level of accuracy he's had, right? Throwing at 87%, and guys haven't been able to go up and get the ball. He hasn't been getting lucky, right? Almost every single pass he's thrown this year, 55 of them, have been right in the breadbasket, right at the numbers, into the hands of these players. And hell, there might be one or two catches that should have been made. Those numbers, instead of being 48 to 55, right? It could be like 50, 51 to 55, up over 90%. I think McCarthy will continue. I don't expect him to continue at 87%, but we could be looking at a season where Michigan's starting quarterback throws over 70%, which has never happened in the history of this program. I think this passing game can be lethal, right? It can be lethal. It's kind of been lethal, right? 280 yards from McCarthy, and then 278 in the second game, although Michigan did have 313 with Jaden Denegal hitting a deep pass downfield. Passing game could be lethal. I think it really depends on Jim Harbaugh, right? Jim Harbaugh, he has a tendency to rein things in, to go back to what's working for him, and he did that in 2021 after a disastrous 2020 season, a disastrous experience with Josh Gass leading the offense, and it worked in 2021. The best one-year turnaround in college football history, 2 wins to 12. It worked in 2022. The first 13-win season in the history of this program, 13-0 start, went to the CFP. So I wouldn't blame him if he wants to go back there. But you may only have a quarterback the stature and the talent of JJ McCarthy once every 15 years if you're Michigan. So I think Michigan's got to let JJ cook. Harbaugh made a big comparison yesterday. Harbaugh compared him to Andrew Luck. And even though he says he hates to compare, which you see right there, I hate to compare, right? But very much like Andrew Luck, a quarterback that's once in a generation. When media asked Jim Harbaugh about who he would compare the play of JJ McCarthy through 2 games through. So let's take a look back, right? If you guys remember last year, I have been predicting this since last October, since JJ McCarthy's about 5th or 6th start. I said, look, this is what Jim Harbaugh does with really good quarterbacks, both in the NFL and in college football. He had Andrew Luck, right? Maybe over the past 40, 50 years, let's say 45 years, the 3 best quarterback prospects coming in. Jim Harbaugh had one of them, Andrew Luck. The other ones are probably Trevor Lawrence and then John Elway back in 1983. First year as a starter, redshirt freshman, just like JJ last year, although JJ was a sophomore. Luck was 162 of 288, 2,575 yards, only 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Look at that jump to his redshirt sophomore year. This the last year he had with Harbaugh. He would stick around for the 2011 season again as a redshirt junior with David Shaw. But he jumped from 2,575 to 3,400 yards. But the biggest jump is right there. 13 touchdowns, 19 more his second year as a starter under Jim Harbaugh. And I think we're witnessing some of that. If Jim Harbaugh can continue to trust JJ McCarthy, McCarthy can play like he has been, get some of the tight ends involved, which they really weren't in game 2, we could be looking at the best quarterback season in the history of this program. Story number 3 here in the Michigan Football Report is the running game. Will they return to dominance this week, or what are we going to do here with this running game? Been disappointed. Michigan scored 5 times on the ground so far in the 2 games. So really 5 touchdowns passing, 5 touchdowns rushing. So kind of even out that regard, but much more through the passing. Much more of the yards have come through the passing game in 2 weeks. My concern has been on Donovan Edwards. I don't know if I've ever been as pumped for a Michigan football player coming into a season as I was for the Don this year. Even though he's technically still kind of a backup, with a 1B starting running back, I'm like, this guy is going to get involved everywhere. He's going to be breaking off 75-yard runs like he did against Ohio State. He's been going up the middle, breaking off 6 tacklers like he did against Purdue. He is going to be catching the ball in the backfield and going for touchdowns, for 70-yard touchdowns like he did as a true freshman against Maryland a couple years ago. But really, none of that's happened. 18 carries, 46 yards so far in two games. 18 carries, 46, 2.6 yards per carry. That's pretty brutal. So I'll put the number at 60. Will Donovan Edwards have 60 yards rushing on Saturday night against Bowling Green? Give me an O or a U. O for over, U for under. Look, I'm an optimist by Michigan football program, even in their darkest times. Even coming off 3-9 in 2008 with Rich Rod, I'm like, okay, Tate Forcier, true freshman. Michigan's going 9-3 next year, 10-2. Okay, obviously much too much optimism there. So I'm going to go over. I think the Don's going to break out of his funk. But, gosh, I haven't really seen it. I haven't heard any rumors about injuries or anything like that. I'm going to go over, but it's a little bit concerning. The O's are coming in the live chat so far, so let me know in the live chat or down in the comments. Where he's gotten involved a little bit more, made a little bit more impact, is in the passing game, which he predicted himself when he did an interview in August with, I think it was like Pro Football Focus. He's been working as a slot receiver. We've seen him and Blake Corman quite a few times, about 10, 12 snaps a game through the first 2 weeks. And both guys have caught the ball. Both guys have gone out as a wide receiver. Both kind of have shifted around. And I think they got a little too cute on a few plays, like running, Blake Corum from receiver back to running back and then giving the ball on a 4th down. So I think there's still some kinks to be worked out there. But the Don, a guy I thought would be a serious Heisman trophy candidate this year. The guy that really is the first football player I've introduced my 6-year-old son to, right? He wears his Edwards jersey and his Edwards t-shirt, and he's asked what the Don did on Saturday, and I told him, he asked me this week, hey, if the Don scores a touchdown, can we go buy a toy on Sunday? I'm like, yeah, the Don scores a touchdown, Preston. You couldn't believe the disappointment on him when he realized the Don, his favorite player, his hero right now, did not score a touchdown for the second straight week. So I've yet to see a meaningful play from the Don. I am hoping he does this week, and if he does, we'll be adding him to this list, the most prestigious list in all of college football. The men who have gotten a collar. It is Yoder's 2023 Dogs. If you guys have seen the meme of that high school football player 3-4 years ago, just basically saying every player and the running backs on his football team, every one of them was a dog. So those are my first 4 of my 2023 Dogs. You got JJ McCarthy. He's a dog. Ruben Wilson. Josh Wallace. They got in the first game, and this past game it was Blake Corum, and then these guys. So let's keep running through them all again there. So Blake Corum, JJ McCarthy, Roman Wilson, Josh Wallace, and then these ones right here. Zach Sinter. You don't have to go back, Jack. I apologize. Zach Sinter, Kenneth Grant, Mikey Sainristil, and Chris Jenkins. There was probably a few other guys that could have gotten the designation of dog. And there's no limit to how many dogs we can mention each week. Once you're a dog, you are a dog for the season. You get your collar. You are stamped in. It's like the mafia. Once you're a made man, you're always a made man. You can't mess with the made man. You can't bench a made man. Once you're a dog, you are a dog. So thank you shout out to all those 8 players who are dogs. Hopefully we get to name a few more dogs after Michigan UNLV on Saturday night. If you made it to the end of the video, if you're watching this will go up on the channel later on Wednesday. Type Go Blue. Let me know you guys made it to the end of the video. If you're doing the live chat too, give me a Go Blue in the live chat. This video going out on Wednesday night. So those of you who watch it Wednesday after the live show, go down in the comments and give me a Go Blue. And you guys watching live, make sure you guys are spamming the Go Blue in the comments. Roger and Keith both say over for the Don. I like this one from William Wagner. He says, I feel Edwards may have been a problem with the zone blocking scheme Michigan is running more often this year. Good point, right? In a zone blocking scheme, you've got to wait a little longer and let things develop. You've got to kind of go to one spot and then things kind of move around there. Where the Don has really been the biggest plays of his career, he's waited for like a half second. As soon as he sees that hole open up, he hits it. 75 yards, 85 yards. The Don, Ohio State. Okay. Appreciate everyone with the Go Blue, Netbag, Tim Baker, with the Go Blue and a Bosa, Northwestern 202. Must be Rietma out there. His burner account, Northwestern 202. That's a joke, but we got Jake Rietma, 97-1 Detroit's finest, just started here with Chat Sports 3 weeks ago, and he's also a Northwestern grad for his master's. But I like that comment from William Wagner. Jack, we can, maybe that William Wagner one. Can we toss that one in the live chat coming up here in a few minutes if you want? The one from Willie Wagner about Donovan Edwards. I feel Edwards may have been the problem with zone blocking scheme. And Edwards is not a patient runner. A zone blocking scheme is made for Mike Hart. It might be made for Blake Corum, although he seems to be able to do whatever blocking scheme that your football team will throw in front of him. So we'll answer that question a little bit more here in the live chat. Go Blue from Sean Isham. I haven't seen you in a while, Sean, so appreciate you coming back. Iceman Comp, we got the $20 super chat from Iceman Comp. He says, Go Blue. Go Blue to you, Iceman Comp. You are in the duck race for a T-shirt. So Iceman Comp, you're getting 2 stickers on this bad boy. Zachary Donafrio with a $10 super chat. So we got another sticker for 2 stickers for Iceman. Iceman, you got yourself quite a few stickers on this helmet. By the way, Saturday night, I'm going to pick 3 viewers. So 3 viewers on Saturday night. I'm going to ship you 3 of these hard hats. We got 7 hard hats that are filled up with stickers now. As Iceman Comp is getting himself another one right there. Iceman Comp, you are on the hard hat. Give me some more hard hats. John Blaze, our guy. He's been our Super Chat MVP this season. Wolverine, Alaska. David Timmer. Dylan Carson. John Blaze again. Iceman Comp from last week. Chris Lauderay. Jim Prindable, one of our MVPs from a couple weeks ago. The Lost Angels, House of Lion. Outdoor Montana, who we had a T-shirt coming out too. Outdoor Montana was our T-shirt winner from this past week's watch party. Leanne, who's Wolverine Alaska's daughter. Midge M. Some Guy. Brad Bucherite. And Danny B. Gaming. Quite a few. Matt Shook. Bill Graves. Might be missing a few people here. Just trying to get all the most recent ones. Dylan Carson. And now Zach Donafrio. I'm going to get that one on there as well, in addition to Iceman Comp. So, Jack, how many people do we have lined up for the 3 super chatters? So you got a 1 in 3 chance. Any super chat, $1 or higher. is going to get you in the duck race. Dylan Carson, I'm going to give you this. Sticker, and it is September 13th. Whoop. 9/13 for Dylan Carson. Got a sticker for you. We're going to take your questions, and then in a few minutes after that, we are going to do our Michigan Bowling Green preview, prediction, and some insight into what Michigan's got planned for Saturday night against Bowling Green. Dylan Carson, you are on the latest hard hat, so appreciate everything that you got going on there, Dylan. He says, "Go Blue." Thank you so much. Keep your eyes out for the duck race we're going to do here in a second, Dylan. You got 1 in 3 chance of winning this bad boy. So we've gone through our latest Michigan football news and rumors and some of my takes, I think, the top stories surrounding this program heading into the third week of the year. I want to look forward a little bit, right? We know what Michigan and Ohio State have both done through 2 weeks. Ohio State seems to be settled on the quarterback. I think they made the right decision. I actually think the quarterback, Kyle McCord, is a hell of a player. Frankly, he hasn't looked perfect. I think there's a few reasons for that versus 2 weeks, but I actually think he's a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud. Now, Stroud may put up better numbers, may be more physically talented, but I actually think McCord is going to turn out to be tougher and probably a tougher out for Ohio State than C.J. Stroud was, an out for Michigan, I should say, from a quarterback position for Ohio State. So knowing what we know now, predict the score, Michigan, Ohio State in November. I'm going to change this probably a dozen times between now and then, but as of right now, I am going to go 42-31 Michigan is going to be my score prediction. So I got a few shout outs to you guys. Is Cade hitting on JJ at beginning true? Ricky Martin, we covered that last week. I don't want to, I think there's probably some truth to it. I just don't think I think a lot of people knew that there was some kind of going on between those guys at the beginning, summer of 2020, summer of 2021 into training camp. And then there was definitely some last year when JJ got the start after the Hawaii game and things kind of fell apart. I just don't think there's any point in relitigating the Cade and JJ like Sam Webb wanted to do. Like Devin Gardner really thought that was a good idea to start doing last week when they're 8 months out the door. They've been gone in another program since January. It just doesn't make any sense. So there was some beef there, but it's long in the past. Cade McNamara, to me, will always be the guy who was the quarterback when this program's glory was restored. So 45-21, Tim Baker over Ohio State. Blowout game right there. So a couple more score predictions. Unlikely for McCord to be better than number 2 draft pick, highest in OSU history. Look, I get it. Highest quarterback in Ohio State history. They've had a number 1 pick before. Orlando Pace was number 1 pick. But I think unlikely that he's going to get drafted number 2. He might. You never know, right? He probably stays this year and next year. So if he shows out, even though he's draft eligible after this year. But where I think McCord has something different than Stroud is the least tough quarterback I've ever seen. He's soft. He is not tough at all. And Michigan was able to just let him go dink and dunk underneath, get a few shots on him, and just frustrate him inside the red zone. And then he just kind of fell apart. Look at the second halves of both those games. After you go down the field, get inside the 35-yard line 3, 4, 5 times, and you come away with 1 touchdown here, a field goal here, a turnover here, it really starts to wear down a mentally soft kid like C.J. Stroud. So I don't think that is something that Kyle McCord is going to bring to the table. Mine is from our newest baby, Dino. He watched first game this weekend as only 1 day old. Congrats, Zachary. Zachary, who just gave the $10 super chat. D'Onofrio is a $10 just new father this past weekend. So baby boy on Friday, is that right? So we're talking about 5, 6 days old now for Zachary. So really, shout out to you and congrats on your newest baby, Dino. So what's that? Oh yeah, somebody in the office says congrats on the sex. Gosh. Can't believe that. Make sure you use Manscaped, promo code GOBLUE. Make sure you have the next kid looking clean down below. So as I mentioned a little bit ago, we got Iceman Comp. We got Zach D'Onofrio and, who was the first one, Jack? Dylan Carson. I apologize, Dylan. Are all in the duck race. We are going to pick, after this segment, so about 20 minutes from now, we're going to have a duck race. One person who super chats any amount, $1 or higher, everyone is entered into the duck race. You will get a Michigan, the winner of the duck race will get a Michigan football long sleeve tee. Long sleeve tee. So if you can, whoever wins the duck race, by the way, make sure you comment on our video tonight or tomorrow from your YouTube name or like your Twitter or Instagram account so I can DM you there because we've had some impersonators before here at the company trying to take wins since YouTube doesn't have a DM feature or just put it in the live chat if you're still watching when we do the duck race. So what is the duck race? Mitchell Renz from the Raiders Report here at Chat Sports did one this past Sunday. So roll that tape, Jack. Here is what his super chatters did in a duck race this past Sunday.
Fox earlier on today's show. Shout out to Raul, All right, remember, whoever wins this duck race, you get yourself a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. And 3, hang on, I burp. 2, 1, go! And off to an early start. I think somebody with Hernandez. Out to a lead. Oh, look at Kale. Brandon Jasper, Kale Loza, Silverface, Amber J, off to a lead. Yeah, I don't know who that is. We got, watch out for LA Crash Dog, Tom Wilk, early lead here. Raider X, a.k.a. Albert Moy, Purple Walrus falls back behind. Watch out for Taino back there. The Great Tuna also up top. Mr. J Wolf making a little bit of a surge, but right now it's Tuna, Chewy, Paul Brewer, all at the front of the line here. 20 seconds, Chewy's making a strong pull. But wait, Armando Hernandez, Taino Raider. This is going to be neck and neck. Armando, Taino. Oh, wait, he's falling back. Watch out for Rabe. Who's going to make the Michael Says? Michael Says! Michael Says!
It's an electric call there from Mitchell Renz while we were in the live. Rick Harford, welcome back, Rick. While we were there, where the hell did I put it? I put the sticker on there, Rick, I promise, but I think I flipped this bad boy around a couple times. Where was it, Jack? Where did I put the Rick, I got you on there, baby. Right there. Boom. Right there, Rick. You are on the helmet. Rick with the $10 super chat. He says, Yoder for GM. Jack, we'll get that one in a live chat here as well, live Q&A. Yoder for GM of the Michigan Wolverines football. Look, I would take the job as long as they can meet my salary demands, which are astronomical at this point. So we're going to do the raffle here at the race at the end of this segment. So we're going to do our live Q&A here, mailbag, take your questions. Then we're going to do that race. I think only 3 people are in the race as of right now. Or 4, I'm sorry, 4 with Rick. So 1 in 4 chance. Hit that little icon beneath the chat for the dollar icon. You can send a $1 super chat, get in the race, and the winner gets one of those long sleeve tees. On Saturday, though, this is one that I think will be fun. It'll reward everybody here. We'll have a chance, and we'll kind of give back a little financial reward, just like they do at high school volleyball games and such. But we're going to do it through Venmo because I just don't want YouTube to take their 30% cut plus payroll taxes. So we're going to give half back to somebody. You guys lose in that scenario. We lose in that scenario. So if you want to enter it, $5 or more on between now and halftime on Saturday. We're doing today only. Is it $10? Okay, cool. Jack's saying it's $5 today. So we'll say today, or if you do it tomorrow, if you watch this later on or forget about it, say tomorrow. But hell, once Friday comes and then Saturday, it ups to $10 to get into it. Whoever wins the duck race on Saturday, right after halftime in the third quarter, depending on how the game goes, I'm going to Venmo them back half of the Venmo once we're on. So $5 ticket now, $10 in. It's at James-Yoder-1 on Venmo. You can take a screenshot of this and then scan it later, or take a picture of it on your computer screen or TV. Take your phone, just scan that right now. It'll drop you into my Venmo. It's a picture of me and my son. So if you see me laying on there, my son who's 6 now, is like an infant at the time. Send a $5 Venmo today or Thursday, and you will be in the duck race on Saturday during the live watch party. There's Zach Jenkins. He's got 5 on it. Zach, is that for the Saturday? But gotta be Venmo. But we'll make some I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Concessions. Yeah, we'll let some people do it, but prefer on Venmo. But Zach, you are getting $5 super chat. That's for the duck race. We'll put Zach in there. Zach's got 5 on it for the Saturday duck race and on this one. But going forward, everybody, Venmo 5 or 10. Let me ask you guys, or is the next this part of the show here, Jack? We go into the where are we at here? We're going duck race in the chat. Okay, for the duck race. So Zach is in the duck race for today. So 1 and 5 people. Let me know if you guys have subscribed to our YouTube channel yet. Give me a Y or an N in the comments. Let me know who is subscribed, who is not subscribed. Sean Isham says $10. He is getting himself a sticker. Got a few of them. Sean Isham, SEANISHAM. Sean is first-time super chatter, long-time commenter. He's going to be in the duck race. Who? Brett Scott in there with the chat. He basically says, he's doing a sticker. Now, our software doesn't do a sticker, but Brett Scott in there. Sean, I got yours coming up next. You are on there, right there on the helmet. I'm going to get Brett Scott there on the helmet with a $5 super chat. $10 is the hard hat, I should say. So Brett Scott's in there. So we got another one. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brett Scott. Sean Isom, towing in there. He's got himself a $10 bad boy. So Zach and Brett and Sean. Sean, a first-time super chatter. We're going to give him a hail. Ready? Sean Isham, hail to Michigan. And Sean for this super chat. First-time super chatter. I think I'm missing the flow here, Jack. I was going to do the clap when I did the hail. I messed up that one. So Sean Isham, hail for his first super chat in the history of this show. So Sean, longtime viewer, first-time super chatter. We're going to do the duck race here in about 15 minutes. I did notice this, Jack. I see some people clicking the little party emojis. If you guys are on your phone, you see that little emoji on the right side of the chat. There's like a thumbs up, and you click, hold it in. It's like hearts and things. Hit that a few times. I'm not sure if it does anything for the show or anything like that. Jack Ladderay, producer Jack, is this you, Jack, or is this Jack? Jack, you're getting in the race, so you're good. Jack Ladderay coming up with a first-time super chatter as well, right? Oh, did last week. So Jack Ladderay. He does we got to figure out a way, I think, to get these stickers on there. So he just sent the work. Jack wants to be in.
Honestly, I just want to race everyone. I think it'll be fun. I just want to race everyone in the duck race.
And the duck race is going to be fun. So let's know if you guys have subscribed to the channel. 15, 16, 18 minutes from now, right after this live Q&A, we are going to do the duck race. It should be absolutely electric. Have 6, 7 people in it right now. Jack, make sure we get those names all rocking and ready to go. You have to the end of this segment to send in $1 or more super chat, and we will do the duck race for a Michigan football long sleeve tee giveaway. Now, it is our Michigan football mailbag, so use hashtag Michigan or super chat. We got a handful of those super chat. A-Train132, he says Ryan Day dyes his beard. We'll get that one in the live chat as well, Jack. I'm going to get A-Train another helmet sticker. The big 1, 3, 2 on 9/13. I should have that. We should have that photo ready. There's a photo floating out there on Twitter of Ryan Day doing a Just for Men advertisement. So I think we almost filled this helmet up. We got room for maybe 2 or 3 more stickers. So A-Train, you are right there on the front, my man, with the Michigan football hard hat right by the Wolverines logo. So appreciate for the $10 super chat and a very, very funny comment. Ryan Day dyes his beard. There's actually a pretty funny tweet going around by Swanky Wolverine on Twitter of Ryan Day almost looked like he'd been president of the United States for 8 years. You know, you see those president pictures where it's like they're 50 years old, and then 8 years later they look like they're 75. Their hair is gray, their face is droopy, just how the job ages you. So he kind of did one of those for Ryan Day. It was obviously Photoshop, but was pretty funny. Ryan Day, way too dark hair and beard for it to be natural. A-Train132, absolutely onto something right there, saying that Ryan Day does dye his beard. All right, Jack, we ready? So toss that up on the screen. Use hashtag Michigan. Thank you so much to A-Train132. Might be really Anthony Thomas. I'm not sure. It could be. He's got the 32 in his name, so you never know. Use hashtag Michigan or super chat to get your questions answered live here on the show. It is the Michigan Football Report. We are going to take your questions by the next 15 minutes, then jump into the duck race for those 7, 8, 9, 10 super chatters to get a Michigan football long sleeve tee. Let's get it rolling with our Michigan football mailbag. This clip is going up on the channel on Friday, so make sure, as always, if you watch our shows, use hashtag Michigan down in the comments, or if you join the live show, you can send a super chat to get your question featured on the show. I think there's also this thing called Super Thanks. You see by there, you can do that. If you send a Super Thanks, we'll put it on one of our mailbags as well, although we've never really talked about it here in the history of the show. On Saturday night, Michigan Football Report is going to be live. Myself and young Harbaugh, Jack Ladderay, for the Michigan Bowling Green night game. It starts at 7:30. It's on Big Ten Network. We're going to go live 30 minutes prior. I think a lot of people have enjoyed having us as their second screen while they watch the game. Or if you don't have Big Ten Network, we'll keep you up to date with play-by-play live chat. As the game turns into a blowout, we might do some silly things and have some wild times here around the office, all on camera for your, hopefully, entertainment and enjoyment. So subscribe, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Hit that subscribe button. Remind yourself, join us. You know, watch the game on your TV, pull us up on your phone every once in a while, get in the live chat, have us on your computer, or just put us on your big screen TV if you've got 2 of them, whatever you want. But we really enjoyed getting to know a lot of you guys and enjoying the game with you guys live the past 2 Saturdays. youtube.com/Michigan TV. All right, now we've got some Michigan football burning questions. We had a few pop up in the live chat that Jack highlighted. I said, oh, those are really great ones. So we've got a handful to get going, but you can still get on the show using hashtag Michigan. If you want to have your question, use hashtag Michigan or super chat. First question coming in, it says, James, have you heard the rumors that Michigan is planning to go for a portal quarterback in 2024 for this next season coming up. Interesting one. I've speculated on it a little bit, but I'll address the rumor here in a moment. But if you guys wouldn't mind, if you want to help the show grow, there's a lot of ways you can do it, and it's always, I think, a benefit. Not a benefit. It's best when it comes from the audience. We can tell you to watch the show all you want, but if you guys spread the word, it certainly helps the show, and I think makes the shows more fun the more people who watch it, especially the live shows. If you can, take a screenshot of the show. If you're watching on your iPhone, your iPad, hell, if you know how to do that on your computer, and tweet it out. Tag me at James Yoder. Anyone who does this week between now and game time on Saturday tweets the picture of this show, or if you're on your computer, take a picture of your computer or your TV if you're watching the big screen. Tweet it out at James Yoder. I will retweet and I'll follow back if I don't already. Anyone who does that, so go ahead and help us out. We will feature you on Saturday's show live. So anybody who does that between now and Saturday, we'll take that tweet and give you attribution, try and drive you some followers on Twitter, in addition to Jack and myself following you on Twitter. So back to the question from Scene in Ann Arbor. You heard the rumors about Michigan is going for a portal quarterback in 2024. I speculated on this in the offseason, right? And I think it's a reason why it was so important for Michigan to get a quarterback, Jaden Davis, for 2024, because they haven't got a high-level scholarship quarterback in the last two classes. And with the announcements and the speculation that Jim Harbaugh put out there this couple days ago about the quarterback rotation going forward, this is what we think the new quarterback depth chart looks like. Davis, Warren, Jack Tuttle, they do anything to lose the job? No. Could they eventually get back up in this top three? Yes, I think they can. I really think this week and last week were about, hey, we know Tuttle has game reps. We know that Davis Warren has game reps last year. Let's get Denegal. Let's get Alex Orji, guys who actually could be starting quarterbacks in the future for Michigan, both in their second year, game snaps. So I don't know if this is what it will look like after this week. Probably really depends on how these guys do in real game time situation. But I have not heard that rumor in recent weeks, really ever since Jaden Davis, so probably about 5-6 months, got him as the quarterback. But Michigan actually should be, right? You can't go into a season coming off potentially 3 straight Big Ten championships, 3 straight wins over Ohio State, with losing as much as Michigan stands to lose if all the guys who can go pro do go pro, including JJ McCarthy. You're going to be replacing 17 starters, 16 starters, 18 starters next year. If you can go out there and get a quarterback like Notre Dame did with Sam Hartman, like plenty of schools have done over the past few years, and he can be instantly eligible. We saw what it did for Michigan's passing game going from 2017, the worst passing offense that Jim Harbaugh's had by a mile, to 2018, which was a pretty good passing offense with Shea Patterson. I think that's what Michigan needs to bank on and at least have as an option if Jaden Davis isn't day one ready to be the starting quarterback, and if Jalen Denegal and Alex Orji, play to their 3-star rankings and don't kind of level up in this Michigan offensive system. Reminder, use hashtag Michigan to get your questions answered live here on the show. Before we continue on more questions, I want to learn more about you guys. What year did you become a Michigan football fan? And then think, who was the quarterback the season you became a fan? At the first season I remember in my mind, I specifically remember the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I was a wee boy. I'm not going to tell you my exact age. Watched it with my dad, maybe one or two of my sisters. Was 1991 Desmond Howard, Heisman Trophy. So remember the Ohio State game. I remember the punt return for a touchdown. So Elvis Grbac was my answer to this question. So let me know who the quarterback was for Michigan, starting quarterback, the season you became a fan in the live chat. First one I saw there was Bill Graves with Jim Harbaugh. So he's talking about like 1984, 85, 86, although Harbaugh was injured for most of the 84 season. Next question coming in from Yoder's burner account. We got Jack Lauderay, super chat in the show. Yoder's burner account. Someone's taken, I think, is that my Twitter profile picture? Kind of wild. Yoder's burner account here on YouTube. He says, so are we going to suck in 2024 or what? I'm glad you took this question, Jack, because I think it's piggybacking off the answer we had. So good pick there by Jack. Are we going to suck in 2024 or what? I will answer that question here in just one moment. But first, I want to kick it to myself to tell you about today's presenting sponsor. The Michigan Football Report is sponsored by AG1. I have AG1 literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at drinkag1.com/chatsports. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust AG1. Once I've got my kids dressed and ready each morning, I make my AG1. I don't feel the need for caffeine anymore, and I feel energized throughout the day. Plus, AG1 empowers the gut for whole body health. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good, if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality source ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then AG1 is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/chatsports. That's drinkag1.com/chatsports. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Trust me on this. I'm very picky about what I put in my body, so I try to steer clear of chemicals and harsh ingredients, which is why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Get started at drinkag1.com/chatsports. Thanks so much to Athletic Greens wardrobe change. I just switching shirts left and right. We pre-recorded that cut. No big deal. I've still got my jacket on, but I took it off. Wanted to mess with you guys. 3 different outfits in one show. By the way, shout out to who do we have? Blue Wolverine in the live chat with a yo. Shout out to you, Blue Wolverine. Thank you so much for joining today's show. A long-time Hard Hat member. So Yoder's burner account. Someone jumping in here and taking my action. He says, are we going to suck in 2024 or what? Let's ask the question. So go to this question first, Jack. Come back to the Yoder burner account. How concerned are you guys about Michigan football in 2024? And I know it's like, James, what are you talking about? Got this helmet in the shot. And Michigan's been good for 3 years. They're going to continue to be good as long as Jim Harbaugh's the coach. But will he be? Will he be the coach? You know, I don't want to speculate here, but there's a lot of talk out there at the NFL. But Michigan's just losing so much after this season. It's an exodus like we haven't seen since maybe 2007 to 2008 when you had Chad Henne and Mike Hart and Jake Long and Mario Manningham and Adrian Arrington. That was just on the offense. I'm probably missing 2 or 3 offensive linemen that I forgot about there. I just don't remember their names. The defense, Sean Crable and whoever else on the defense. But they lost a ton after 2007. 2008 only brought back like 5 stars, 4 stars in defense, like 2 on offense. That's the level. Now, I think Michigan's got better backups. We're seeing guys like Keon Saab emerge. We're seeing, Harris, Keyshawn Harris. I think he's got another year right now if he continues to play at the high level. Will Johnson will be back. Mike Sanderson will be gone. Rod Moore, Makari Paige could return, so that would be good. Junior Colson could come back, although he could go pro. Mike Barrett will be gone. Ernest Hausman. So you got some good things going on. Chris Jenkins will be going to the pros, but Mason Graham will return. Derek Moore. So you have some talent, but you will lose a ton. Michigan might only have 1 or 2 stars back on offense next year. Probably 4 or so, 3, 4 stars, 5 maybe at the absolute most back on defense. So are you concerned? Scale of 1 to 10. My concern level, guys, it's a 7 for next year, and that's really on twofold. If Harbaugh is coming back and we knew that was a guarantee, I'd probably still be like a 4 or 5 just because of all the players and personnel losses you're going to have. Penn State will be returning a quarterback and both starting running backs for them. A ton coming back for Penn State next year. Ohio State likely returning their starting quarterback next year. They'll have a ton of talent. Where Michigan's kind of the opposite of that this year, right? This year, Michigan's the school. Really, of all the top 4 or 5 teams in the country in the preseason, Michigan's the only one that was returning their head coach, their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, their starting quarterback, their starting running back. Michigan had it all. Next year won't be the case. We could also lose both coordinators, right? Jesse Minter could go get an NFL DC job. He might also look for a college head coaching job, although I doubt it. I think he takes the Mike McDonald route to go get an NFL DC job. Sharon Moore has been, rumored for head coaching jobs the past 2 seasons. This could be the year for him. Mike Hart could go take a MAC head coaching job. Jim Harbaugh could be gone, depending on what happens there with Harbaugh, those other guys, and all the replacements. So I'm concerned level 7 to 10 is just all the uncertainty, both coaching staff, head coach, and all the personnel that could depart this program after a national championship season in 2023. Super chatter, Dylan Carson saying, any news on Amari and Walker, but all Mays uniforms all day. So I like the Mays uniforms for that one time, 2017. And funny enough, I think in my life, the Mays #1 Mays Michigan football jersey is the first Michigan football jersey I ever bought. Now I used to have a bunch of basketball jerseys. I had in the 90s, I had like a Juwan Howard, I had a Chris Webber, I had a Jalen Rose at some point. I think I even had a Trey Burke back in 2013. I lost it like after 6 months. Jim Printable in the house with a $25 super chat. Jim Printable will get to you in just one moment. Super chat, Palooza there from Jim Printable, $25. I have not heard a ton on Amari Walker lately. Now, there's really twofold for that. One is his stature over the summer, coming out of spring practice into the fall, continued to kind of drop down the pecking order for Michigan in the depth chart. And number two is they just haven't had to use him. So if he's injured where he could come back after 1 game, 2 game, 3 games, it's at this point they're just going to keep him out until he's 100% because he is a guy over the last couple of years that has kind of shown the propensity to take a nagging injury and have it continue to nag and never really be fully healthy in a couple of seasons. So I don't think we're going to see him this week. We might, but it's nothing serious that's going to keep him out maybe past next week against Rutgers. He should be back for that first road game at the latest against Nebraska. Rick Harford, got you in the helmet, my man. Hard hat. We're giving away 3 of these on Saturday night during the watch party. Jack, remind me of that. I make a lot of claims during these shows. Sometimes I forget them, so we got to remind to do that. Yoder for the GM of the Michigan Wolverines football program. I take it. My salary demands might be higher than what they would pay. I think I'd have a cold tax living in Ann Arbor, but with the new generation of name, image, and likeness, I've got so many ideas that Michigan could be using right now to put themselves at the forefront of NIL. Hell, I think digital media is one of them. I mean, we put out the $100,000 offer out to Jaden Davis. He hasn't accepted yet. I know he's seen it for sure. All of his high school coaches and his quarterbacks coach and all these people followed me on Twitter right after we made that offer, but they haven't officially accepted it. So they might send us a $100,000 bill at some point, Jack, that we're not ready for. So Jaden, contact me at James Yoder on Twitter. But I would definitely be the GM if I could focus just on the transfer portal and NIL, this new wave of college football. I think that no one has an advantage in that regard at this point. Someone come from the outside with fresh ideas could be a possibility. Jim Prindable in the house. Jim Prindable. Jim, did you get your T-shirt? We sent you the Don T-shirt a couple weeks ago. Hopefully it arrived. I got the email that it did arrive, so hopefully it arrived in your hands. He said, Yoder, getting in the chat late. How are we looking for starters on D? I'm blind, Jack. Is that what that says? Getting here late. How are we looking for starters on D? This week, we expect Will Johnson to play. We also expect Makari Paige to play. Now, I am not 100% certain that Makari Paige is going to replace Keon Saab. I'm not 100% sure that he's going to replace even Quentin Johnson in the starting lineup. Two games, Paige has played like 10 snaps or something like that. So he's going to play. But much like last year with R.J. Moten, I wonder if the emergence of Keon Saab this year is going to end up, when Rod Moore comes back, having Makari Paige being the odd man out. I would say after 2 games, if you looked at it objectively, you can make a real case that Keon Saab is the MVP of this Michigan football defense. I also think we're going to continue to see the emergence of Ernest Hausman at linebacker, maybe even in the starting lineup this week. You never know. Mike Barrett played a little bit better this past week. On the defensive line, you could really say that Michigan has 8 starters right now. 8 starters on that defensive line, 4 in the interior, 4 on the outside. The only guy who hasn't really made a huge impact out of those 8 starters on defense is Rayshon Trap Money Benny. He's been in there, but hasn't really made plays. They're like, oh, wow, this guy needs to be in the game more often. Derek Moore certainly has. Josiah Stewart, we've seen a ton of. Braden McGregor seemingly has been all over the place. Jalen Harrell was one of our, Jalen Harrell was one. I probably should have had him as a dog. He had himself a hell of a game. Junior Colston's having a nice season for Michigan. Jimmy Rolder's one that we don't expect to see this week in the secondary. So mostly either healthy or ready to play when they need him for this Michigan football defense. Super chat coming in from Jeremy Clore. He's on the helmet. Get Jeremy here in a second on the helmet, and we'll get him to that question, and he will be in the duck race here in a moment. Next question coming in from Sloppy T Go Blue. We've seen Sloppy T here on the show before, and by the way, thanks so much to Jim for the 25 spot. You are the man, Jim. Really appreciate everything you do for the show. Do you think that Donovan Edwards got a big head, and that's impacting his play this season? Hashtag Michigan. What do you think, Jack? Think he's got a big head? Is that the reason holding him back? He did make some claims. The Don made some claims in the offseason, right? He said in an interview, we did 2 interviews of note that kind of July and August that were turning a lot of people's heads. We're making the rival fans, mad about Donovan Edwards. Who does he think he is, right? He had one of the best 3-game stretches in the history of this program. So shout out to Donovan Edwards. And it wasn't against scrubs. It was against Ohio State. It was against Purdue. It was against TCU. So that was what Donovan Edwards ended last season with. And all the hype, guys like me making the Don shirts. My son spent $100 on his own website, like the T-shirts and the hat, all this different stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit of big hat. And did he not put in the work? I hate to make that claim. I don't have any inside info on that. But I think if we don't see something out of the Don this week, whether it's catching the ball, running the ball, I think there's got to be some questions that are answered out there, right? Because 3 games end of last year against really good competition, coming up on 3 games this year. The only difference is Blake Corum's in the game versus not in the game. Okay, I understand that. But it's going to be pretty telling if Donovan Edwards. So he in one interview said that he thinks going into the NFL with his ability to catch the ball and run the ball and do all these different things. He's like a NFL back, of the next generation. He's going to be one of the greats in NFL history potentially. Okay, big time comment. Then he kind of said how good he was going to be in another interview and that he could be the best slot receiver in all of college football in a second interview in August. So he's definitely said some things. Hasn't been too productive so far this year. I am expecting the Don to break out, and hopefully that he didn't just kind of rest in his roles, which is, plenty of people do that. You have some success, you take a little break there, and then maybe other people pass you up. Hopefully that's not the case here with the Don in 2023, which will likely be his last season in Ann Arbor. But I'll ask you guys this question. Are you concerned about Donovan Edwards? Where is the Don so far this year? He's playing a bunch of snaps. The production has not been there. Give me a Y for yes or an N for a no. Jovan Stock Channel says, we need to relax and stop stressing about Don. Zach Jenkins says, Donovan Edwards never had the greatest vision. He just isn't seeing the field all that well. Bill Graves gives me an N. He is not concerned out there. Jim Printable says, no shirt yet. Jack, Jim Printable shirt. Check the tracking after the show. Jim will be in touch. I'll DM you on Twitter with your shirt. So give me a Y for yes, an N for no. Are you concerned with Donovan Edwards? Zach Jenkins, no as well. A-Train is no. Super chat coming in from Jeremy Clore in the building. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Couple wins doesn't wreck with you. Couple wins doesn't wreck you with an expanded playoffs in 2024. Great recruiting class, being good by midseason, and portal raid to stay strong. Okay, I kind of read that wrong a little bit. So, as you kind of think he means couple losses, but I could be mistaken there with Jeremy with this $10 super chat. Yeah, I think he's saying that with $10 super chat. I'm going to get your sticker here in a second, Jeremy, once we're done with the segment. But, yes, that's right. 12-team playoff next year with the expansion of the Big Ten, USC and UCLA coming over. Expansion, and Oregon and Washington, right? We kind of forget about them. So you go to 18 teams next year. The SEC is adding Texas and Oklahoma. There's going to be no Pac-12. So you got 4 conferences now vying for these, maybe one team from a non-conference. So I really think if Michigan's in the top 4 in the Big Ten next year, they're in the college football playoff. If I were to guess right now, next season, I should save this where Yoder is right, where Yoder is wrong for this time next year. I would guess next year when you get the college football playoff, 12 teams, it's going to be 5 teams from the SEC, 4 teams from the Big Ten, 1 team from the ACC, 1 team from the Big 12, and then 1 group of 5, group of 6, whatever they're going to call it now, team if they let the highest ranked one in there. So I think your top 4 teams in the Big Ten, no divisions next year. You could potentially be 9-3, 10-2, make the college football playoff. So Michigan should have a decent year next year, but I think the floor could be as low as 7-5. I bet the ceiling is 10-2 next year for the regular season. 10-2 gets you the playoff for sure. 9-3, I think you'd be right there on the cusp of like one of those 10, 11, or 12 seeds. William Wagner, he says, I feel like Edwards may have a problem with the zone blocking scheme that Michigan is running more often this year. And I am not an offensive line guru by any means. So I've seen the tapes. I watched some of these people do film reviews on different Big Ten teams. And I've become a big watcher of Big Ten Network, in 60 to make sure I'm not missing any plays. Any guys do things. And Urban Meyer and Joel Klatt, they have different breakdowns. Michigan's running some different running schemes this year. Is that affecting the Don's vision? It could be, that could be it. I think we're going to find out more as we go along. Maybe even what's harming Blake Corum. Now, I think Corum is a guy who probably can fit into any system, right? He can hit the hole fast. He can dance around, cut back, cut in, cut loose. So I don't think that system, if he's getting used to it for Blake Corum, is going to impact him. Could be from the Don, who's never had the greatest vision and really has never been good at like a goal line thing. So if they give the ball to the Don on 2nd and 3, 3rd and 2, something like that, rarely does he hit pay dirt without slamming into the back of one of his offensive linemen and getting stopped. Usually his big runs come on 1st and 10 or 2nd and 7 when you're not expecting it. Got a little more wiggle room to make some things happen. Logan Zirkle says, is Sharon Moore still calling plays on Saturday, or is it Kirk Campbell? It was Sharon this past Saturday. It'll continue to be Sharon going forward. Now, Sharon is head coach. So as of now, we were told a couple weeks ago that Sharon is back to the play caller. He's going to be that for a second. But given he's being head coach, it could be something that they're just keeping under wraps and they announce on Friday or maybe just before the game we get with like a media release that Kirk Campbell is the offensive coordinator. It would make sense if Campbell was calling the plays so Sharon Moore could focus on being offensive coordinator. I'm not sure if it matters because I think things will still go. If Kirk makes the first call, it's going to go through Sharon Moore and he probably has veto power or can recommend things. But those two will be in on him along with Mike Hart. But as far as I know right now, Sharon Moore is intended to be the offensive coordinator to keep that continuity, even though he is also going to be the head coach on Saturday. Jim Harbaugh's 3rd game suspended before he returns next week for Rutgers. Kason Scott, my guy, says, why isn't anyone else besides Roman Wilson looking to score? You don't score until you score. Until you score. Name that movie, Jack. Name that movie. American Pie, our movie guru. Yeah, it's a good. Donovan Edwards hasn't really looked to score. Is Michigan looking for anyone else to score? All the passes in the red zone have gone to Roman Wilson. The best route of the season so far has gone to Roman Wilson. Now that's from JJ McCarthy. If I were to take everything we know and package it up and sell it to you right now, I would say this. Roman Wilson is the guy that JJ McCarthy has spent the most time with in the offseason the last 2 years, building that rapport, building that passing attack, better friends both on the field and off the field. It was kind of Andrew Anthony when they were freshmen. Anthony now at Oklahoma, having a pretty good season so far. But last year and this year, it's really been Roman Wilson after their first, coming out of the freshman year, summer, spring, into last year after they were both starters last year. And I think his comfortability, his familiarity with Roman Wilson, he starts scrambling around, right? 2 of Wilson's first 4 touchdowns on the year were not designed, passing routes. It was JJ McCarthy scrambling, hitting Wilson. I think those 2 in particular can be attributed specifically to the chemistry those guys have built. And it's like, oh, I'm running around. Where's my guy? There he is. We practiced all summer. I think that's basically what it is so far for this team. Bill Graves says, with Orgy's athleticism, would you like to see him as a wide receiver? I don't know what he has as wide receiver. Before wide receiver, though, I think we probably could start with what was rumored that he was doing during fall camp is put him back there at kick returner, right? Give him the ball in his hands at the 6-yard line, catching it, 10 blockers in front of him, 11 guys crashing down on him. Can he make any separation? If he can, then I think you got to find ways to get him the ball outside of just 2-3 snaps a game here and there like he has in the past. He's such a big guy, right? He's huge. Could he become a Tim Tebow kind of guy? Could he be an H-back? Could he be somebody that might be better at the goal line than Kalel Mullings would be when Blake Corum has been out from time to time? Certainly better than the Don, but start him at kick returner if that's where he's been practicing in fall camp. We haven't seen it yet. If he makes some plays there, get him the ball in either in the backfield with JJ McCarthy from time to time, or direct snaps to him, see if he can pull a little Tebow and just crash on the line, get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards, and Michigan absolutely needs it. One more ask, remind you guys of the request at the beginning of the show. Spread the word in the show. We're going to feature people on Saturday during our live show. Jack and I will also follow you on Twitter if we don't yet. Take a screenshot or take a picture of your computer, take a picture of your TV, wherever you're watching. Tweet it out. Tag me at James Yoder. Tell people you're watching the Michigan Football Report. We're going to feature our kind of featured audience on Saturday in our pregame before Michigan Bowling Green. We're going to be live at 7 o'clock Eastern. The game is on Big Ten, 30 minutes prior to the game. Michigan Football Report. We'll be live. Camera on us during the entire show. We'll do some fun things. We'll do some giveaways and then do our immediate post-game show Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Make sure you guys join us then. That's 2 segments down, 1 to go. Our Michigan Bowling Green preview coming up here in just a second. But I asked this question earlier. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I said to you guys, who's the quarterback of the Michigan football team when you became a fan? But also now is who is your favorite all-time Michigan quarterback? My favorite all-time Michigan quarterback is Drew Henson. And I was so disappointed in the spring of 2021 when he decided to skip his senior year, go play for the Yankees. He was coming back, was going to be the Heisman favorite. Michigan was going to be a top 5 team. And he was likely to be the number 1 pick in the draft the following year, the NFL, right? Went to the major leagues. He's one of the few players ever to start a game, 10, 15 guys in history to start a game in the majors and as an NFL, as an NFL player. Maybe only one or 2 ever, maybe the only one as an NFL quarterback. Started with the Houston Texans, and he also got a start or 2, started a Thanksgiving game. Henson did with the Dallas Cowboys, actually. But only started 9 games at Michigan, was back up to Tom Brady in 98, 99, and then missed the first 3.5 games of the 2000 season. John Navarro is a redshirt freshman. Henson was hurt, came in halftime against Illinois, led a comeback win, and then Michigan had himself a nice season after that. But it was just so fun to watch. It reminds me a lot of JJ McCarthy, honestly. They remind me a lot of their style, their look, their feel, how they throw the ball. Who is your favorite Michigan quarterback of all time? Me, it's Henny, but I think another 3 or 4 games from now, I'm probably going to be saying JJ McCarthy. I think he's on pace and will be the greatest quarterback in the history of this Michigan football program. Let me give a few shout-outs here. Chad Henne, account 22, this defense is scary good this year. I just think the depth in this defense is so damn good. I mean, R.J. Moten leaving, I was like, oh, R.J. Moten, that was great depth. But then Keon Saab emerges. Secondary, oh gosh, Josh Wallace. And then Keyshawn Harris is emerging. So I think a lot of things are kind of playing out in Michigan's favor, and they're getting some using these injuries to get some players playing time. Tie with Brady and Henson from A-Train 132, JJ McCarthy 22. Greasy, I love his story. Yeah, Greasy won the national championship, and really, he started against Ohio State 3 straight years, really in backup positions, came out of nowhere and to lead those wins in 95, 96. I think 95 he got the start. Yeah, I did. And I think in 96 he actually maybe came in at halftime. I remember flipping my years, but 97 he was the starter the entire year, start to finish, and led Michigan to an undefeated 12-0 staff. Michigan, trouble with the curve. What's that mean, Mark? Let me know that. Denard Robinson, Jim Prindable, all right. Denard was so fun to watch. I think Denard was so fun to watch, and if Michigan had maybe won a little more, he would be up there for me as well. Zach says JJ winning him over. JJ beloved watching Denard. Shoelace from Rick Harfer. Dennis Franklin back in the 1970s, I believe, from Mark Majkowski, one of Bo Schembechler's great quarterbacks from back in the 1970s. So let me know. Keep it going. We'll give some more shout-outs here in a second. But wanted to give you guys one last chance. Today's giveaway and our entertainment, we've got a Michigan football long sleeve T-shirt we're going to give away here in the next couple of minutes. Any super chat. So you've got about another 3 minutes. Let's go like 3-4 minutes from now. So it's 4:26 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to go to 4:30, Jack. So 3 minutes plus. Yeah, if you already super chat, you're already in, right? $1 super chat gets you in the race. We're going to do a duck race right now. Give you this free. We're going to give away this Michigan football long sleeve tee to rock this season, and obviously, as long as you want into next season. Should we show Mitch's race one more time? What do you think people have to do that? Let's give people one chance. We'll show Mitch's race, Mitchell Renz, from this past Sunday, so you guys know exactly what's going to happen. If you want one more chance, about 2 minutes and 30 seconds from now, we are going to do our own race. But you're asking, what are we super chatting for? $1 gets your name on the race to vie for this giveaway before we do our Michigan Bowling Green preview. Roll that tape, Jack, from from Raiders Report on Sunday. Their duck race. Go ahead.
Fox earlier on today's show. Shout out to Raul. All right, remember, whoever wins this duck race, you get yourself a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. And 3. Hang on, I got a burp. 2. 1. Go! And off to an early start. I think somebody with Hernandez. Out to a lead. Oh, look at Kale. Brandon Jasper, Kale Loza, Silverface, Amber J, off to a lead. Yeah, I don't know who that is. We got, watch out for LA Crash Dog, Tom Wilk, early lead here. Raider X, a.k.a. Albert Moy, Purple Walrus falls back behind. Watch out for Taino back there. The Great Tuna also up top. Mr. J Wolf making a little bit of a surge, but right now it's Tuna, Chewy, Paul Brewer, all at the front of the line here. 20 seconds, Chewy's making a strong pull. But wait, Armando Hernandez, Taino Raider. This is going to be neck and neck. Armando, Taino. Oh, wait, he's falling back. Watch out for Rabe. Who's going to make the Michael Says? Michael Says! Michael Says!
All right, there we go. Mitchell Renz on the call. By the way, Jeremy Clore, where was it? I did this again, Jack. I can't believe I did. Oh, there it goes. Jeremy, I got you on the helmet, my man, from your $10 super chat a few moments ago. Troy Winslow, get on the race. Right there, Troy with a $2 super chat. Any amount, get you on the race. So, Troy, you will be in the race. Jack, let's add Troy Winslow to the duck race here in a moment. $1 coming in from Dan Gallagher as well. Jack, why don't we put up a 60-second shot clock? Do we have that ready? We'll do a 60-second shot clock. Anyone who does $1 or more gets in the race. Tease the race here. Show them the race, Jack. Show them the race, what we got here. Dan Gallagher with a $1 super chat. First-time super chatter from Dan Gallagher. So anyone in super chat, your name will be on there. Jack's going to add those last two, Dan Gallagher, Troy Winslow, and then anybody who super chats here down the stretch, we'll get you on there. So we're going to do a 60-second super chat, a 60-second clock. So count that clock down, Jack, and we will for people to put in the super chat before we start the race. Sound good? So 60 seconds we're going to put up there. Anyone who super chats right now in the next minute will get themselves in the duck race. So don't start the duck race, Jack. Just toss the clock on there when we're ready. So duck race, or the duck rack. What kind of thing is that, Jack? All right, 60 seconds. Go ahead and count it right now. Troy Winslow says, little brother's coach definitely came and went. Bonk, bonk. I know what that's about. Bosa from David Hudson. So my duck got this. Sean Isam, he's calling a shot. He said he basically saying his duck has got this. He's going to win the match. So 43 seconds. Anyone who wants to get in the duck race, we will add your name to the list. We've got, I see Troy Winslow there at the top. I'm blind, so I'm probably going to have to squint. Jack, I might actually pull I'm going to pull the monitor close to me so I can see these names. So bear with me, everybody, a second. Make sure I don't, break anything. Let me know if that gets in the way of the cameras, Jack, so I can, okay. All right. You guys should see some of our studios here. We've got TVs everywhere. I got screen. Just making sure that we see everything. Jack's got 4 screens right there. So I'm pulling one of the screens, rolling graphics cart to be able to read these names off, so I'm not squinting because I should be wearing glasses, but I am not. So that's the end. Put the readers on from Sean Isam. He says, so we have got a, what's up, Jack? Whoa, I'm going to pull this bad boy closer. What's the shot? Oh, it's in this shot. Okay, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. Right there. Perfect. You're good. Kind of in it, but I think we'll be fine. We'll push it back afterwards. All right. We're ready in a second. Let me pull up my notes here. We have got, by the way, like the video if you can. If you enjoy, let's say this. If you guys enjoy what you're going to see here, if you think this is fun, like the video, and we'll keep it rolling. We got one more segment to go here on the Michigan Football Report. All right, this duck race. You see, everyone who super chatted today has got their name on the duck race. Jack, cut this for socials as well, and we'll see who wins this Michigan football T-shirt. So we'll start the cut for social right now, Jack. All right, so everyone who super chatted here on our Wednesday live show has got their name on the duck race. This is a race of duckies with our super chatters' names here on YouTube. They're gonna fight to the finish. My call. Jack in the room with me. See who wins themselves a Michigan football long sleeve tee. We're going to do this again Saturday night during our Michigan Football Report watch party for Bowling Green. So join us during the game, right after halftime. Anyone who Venmos me at James-Yoder-1, $5 either on Wednesday or Thursday, or goes up to $10 Friday and Saturday up until halftime to join the race. For that one, we're going to do a 50-50 raffle, give away half the money that people Venmo for this one. All right, are we ready, Jack? On your mark, get set. Go, Ducky, go! We got nobody's off to a start right now. We got Jack Lauderay breaking out to a nice game. Jim Prindle up there. I see Carson at the bottom of the screen, lagging back, but he's going to make it. Dan Gallagher, very top of the screen, making himself some moves. A-Train 1-3-2, making a move. We got to pause. What happened? It paused. Oh, he paused it. Now he's back. Jack hit the pause button. All right, Prindle is out to a lead. Jack hit the pause button. People are going to complain there. They're going to say, this was clearly rigged, a rigged system. Sean Isam, he called his shot. He said he is going to win the T-shirt. He said, give me that shirt. Making a last-minute push. 27 seconds left. Sean's backing up now. Backing up. Dylan Carson, who's coming up, Jack? Look out for Troy Winslow, a last-minute super chatter. He's coming up to the top of your screen. Dan Gallagher, Jeremy Clore, Jack Lauderay, Brett Scott. Rick Harford is taking the lead. It's Rick Harford and A-Train. They're breaking away. 10 seconds left. 8, 7, Jim Prindle. Down the stretch they come. Jim Prindle. A-Train 1-3-2. Jim Prindle wins it. Jim Prindle gets the T-shirt. He is the winner of the first ever duck race at the Michigan Football Report. Some people are saying it was rigged. Jack Lauderay, pause the game. Pause it during the race. People are already in the live chat saying this is rigged. Jack switched it up. He saw somebody was going to win. He wanted Printable with the big super chat. Jack, you got a lot of explaining to do right now. People are saying this is completely rigged. I don't think that way. I saw Jim Printable win fair and square, but that glitch right there, Jack, what was going on there? People are saying maybe, look at the live chat, that this thing was rigged because we paused it accidentally during the thing.
I've never rigged a competition in my life, so I don't know what people are talking about. That's a witch hunt. Nope, not true.
Mm-hmm. Jack, before he moved to Dallas, he's actually a ballot voter in Arizona during the last election, funny enough. So there you go. Jim Prindle is our winner. He says definitely not rigged, certainly the top duck. All right, Jim, you will, I'm going to DM you after that because now we owe you another shirt. You said you haven't got the Don shirt yet. I'm going to check on the shipping on that one, Jim, and then we will be giving you this shirt right here, the Michigan football long sleeve shirt. Jim, if as long as the same size as you sent me for the Don address, we'll get that shipped out for you later on tonight. So hopefully you can have it by at latest early next week. That was pretty fun. I'm glad I saw that on Mitch's. I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad that we did it here. Hopefully we get some people who Venmo $5 Wednesday or Thursday. You can Venmo me at James Yoder, James-Yoder-1. But I want to ask you guys this question. Did you like the duck race? Yes or no? Why or and? Let me know what you guys think. And if you like it, we'll do it some more. I think it's some pretty fun. Same size work. So Bill says yes. Dan Gallagher says yes. So good questions. Jack, why don't you make the poll? Did you like the duck race? Just yes or no on that one on the live chat poll. And we will we'll do another one on Saturday. That was entertaining. That was fun. Good to see. Toss this one up on screen, Jack, while we're getting us just the matchup. We'll talk a little Bowling Green just for a second here. Did you like the duck race? Yes or no? Michigan is a 40.5-point favorite against Bowling Green. I mean, the way things shake out, if you follow bets and trends with betting, really this means that if Michigan gives up more than 7 points, the sports books are going to be really surprised. Like this shakes out to Michigan scoring anywhere from 42 to 49, and really Bowling Green. Their point total, target is going to be between 3 and 7 points. Is kind of how that shakes out. So I think Michigan's going to handle this one. I thought they were going to be up 42-0, last week, but it wasn't the case. Michigan really hasn't done anything at all in the second half. I wonder if it's the lack of a killer instinct without Jim Harbaugh in the game, kind of having that 15, 16, 17 years of head coaching experience that the other guys on the coaching staff yet do not have. So did you like the duck race? Give me a Y or an N in the live chat. We put up as a poll, or Y or N in the comments. Make it a Wolverine race. Can we make it a Wolverine race? I don't know. I don't think there's the game. We found this duck game. It's pretty. Nicholas Cranston says, "Hey James, longtime fan. Appreciate you watching, Nicholas. Screenshot the video. Screenshot the or take a picture of the show. Watch it right now, Nicholas, and then put it out on Twitter. Tag me at James Yoder, and Jack and I will retweet you, follow you back, and feature you during the pregame on Saturday night of this game. We will be live at 7 o'clock, 30 minutes before game time to show this one. I did see, by the way, I think I give him a shout out there, Blue Wolverine earlier. I have not seen our guy John Blaze. So John, I saw you retweet me on Twitter earlier today, John. I thought we were gonna see you. That's cool. Just if you're watching, John, you don't always have to super chat, but join the live chat. Let me know you're there. Love seeing John Blaze and hope that he appreciates his Michigan football helmet. I got one right here. That first one we got, we're going to give away one of these, probably either the Nebraska game or a game after that, maybe the Minnesota game, if we do a watch party for that one. We will see. Account 22 says 59-7 this weekend. Michigan runs it up a bit under the lights. Orgy makes a splash in the fourth quarter. Hey, Orgy making a splash. Okay, I get you right there. So that is what we're rolling with. All right, Jack, we ready to get this bad boy started? We're going to do our Michigan Bowling Green preview. Jim Prindable, he himself got another T-shirt, so he's got a Don shirt. He won the duck race there. So Venmo me at James-Yoder-1 if anyone wants to join the 50-50 raffle for the duck race Saturday night just after halftime. Half of the Venmos we get, we're going to send back to the winner. So it's at James-Yoder-1. I'll link it down in the we haven't put it in the live chat or anything. We probably should, right, Jack? I don't know if you can get. I don't know if you can easily get your Venmo. I don't think you can. Well, that stinks. So it's at James-Yoder-1. No big deal. I'll put it in the description of the video, and we'll pin it under the video after. We'll put it in the comments of the video after we're done live, and then we'll put it in the comments in the description of our Wednesday night, Thursday, and our Friday video. It's at James-Yoder-1 for the 50-50 giveaway on Saturday night. Michigan football versus Bowling Green, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday on Big Ten Network. Let's get rolling with our Michigan Bowling Green preview right now. The Wolverines are a 40.5-point favorite. The over-under is 53.5. Low over-under, given the fact that Michigan is a 40.5-point favorite. Like, this really shakes out to Michigan's going to score probably in the mid-40s per the bookies. And if Bowling Green scores more than 7 points, I think that it's a late garbage time touchdown, or Michigan definitely has some big time issues. We're going to be live on this channel during the game, our watch party. So if you want a second screen, if you're watching the game on Big Ten Network, or if you don't have it, join us Saturday night for a 30-minute pregame show live the entire time and 45-minute post-game show. This show is presented by BetUS. Promo code GOBLUE, GOBLUE at chatsports.com/GoBlue. It's really meaningful for you to actually type the URL in the screen, not just Google BetUS to get this promotion. If you go to chatsports.com/GoBlue, it redirects you, tracks your account, in a good way, to this promotion. You use promo code GoBlue, 125% deposit bonus. But also, last week expires on Sunday. It's in the live chat, and if you're watching on demand, this will go out on Thursday. Just chatsports.com/GoBlue. Type it into your computer, type it into your phone. Promo code GoBlue. You sign up deposit, 125% deposit bonus for new customers only, unfortunately, for anyone who's signed up in the past. $100 deposit or more. Make your first bet, then email us. Email us at chatsports, jersey@chatsports.com. We'll get your information, your address, your size. We'll confirm your account, of course, that you're a real account, that you did sign up, and we will ship you a Michigan football Jordan brand jersey. Great value here. You put in your 100, make a couple bets here, you get 125 deposit bonus. You got a bunch more money, and you're getting yourself a Michigan football jersey. BetUS, Chatsports, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Promo code is GoBlue. So predict the score in the comments. I'm going to Venmo $25 to the first person. I'm trying to get back here, guys. I'm trying to get back. We're giving away shirts. We gave away helmets. We gave away a bunch of shirts this past 2 weeks. And Venmos, if you can get the score right, a 50-50 raffle coming up on Saturday. $25 to the first score prediction. Don't do it in the live chat. If you're watching live on Wednesday, give me a score prediction as well. But go put it in the comments of our Wednesday night, Thursday, and our Friday videos, because that's what we're going to check. We're going to basically check the comments all week. So any video we put out from Monday through Friday this week are on demand, not in the live videos. Put in the comments the score and the score prediction. And if anybody gets it right, we will send a $25 Venmo in this one. So comment on one of the videos. Comment on this preview video on Thursday. You can comment on the Wednesday one if you want. We'll go back and check all of them. Let's take a look at Bowling Green. They lost their their opener at Liberty, I should say, their season opener to Liberty. They look absolutely disastrous. Threw 5 interceptions, pulled their quarterback, their starting quarterback. But they put him back in the game, and the backup didn't do any better. He threw a pick 6 right after they got in there. So they lost on the road to Liberty 34-24. Came back, got the win this past week at home against Eastern Illinois 38-15. Now, Bowling Green, they've had the same coach for the last 5 seasons. Why is he familiar to Michigan football fans? I'm sure most of you guys, if you've been around, if you've been a fan for more than 10, 15 years, definitely if you're a fan in the 90s or the decades of the 2000s, Scott Loeffler was basically around this program for nearly 20 years. Had a short stint in Central Michigan as their OC when Mike DeBoer was the head coach there, but was a Michigan quarterback for 4 years, got injured, was there 93-96, then became a grad student assistant his last 2 years, and then a grad assistant all the way up to 1999. Left the program in 2000 to go be the offensive coordinator at Central Michigan with Mike DeBoer, who was Michigan's offensive coordinator up to 1999. Went there a couple of seasons, came back to Michigan in 2002, and had 2 quarterbacks over a 6-year stretch there. John Navarre in 2002, 2003, and then Chad Henne as his quarterbacks coach 2004, 5, 6, and 7. After 2007, he went, I can't remember where he went for 1 year, but ended up being the quarterbacks coach at Florida during Team Tebow's final year. They talked about him in the Swamp Kings documentary recently. Went on to Temple, was there with the Detroit Lions for a while, went to Virginia Tech, went to other places, Auburn, and the Detroit Lions for a season as well. So he's been all over there, but 5th season as Bowling Green's head coach, an hour south of Ann Arbor. Here's what he's done. Got the job in 2019, 3-9 record, so kind of a tough spot, but took over a program that was literally down in the dumps. 2020, 0-5. Winless seasons. They could have probably fired him. Jim Harbaugh didn't have a good year that year either. 0-5 that season, 0-5 all MAC. They played an all MAC schedule. 2021, they came back 4-8, 2-6. Last year, his 4th straight losing season, so things are looking good. There was some speculation after last year, getting down the stretch, that he was going to get fired, but was able to pick up some wins down the stretch of the year, get a winning record actually in the Mid-American Conference that gave him a little more job security. 1-1, probably 1-2 after Saturday night. I think he's got to win at least 6 games, go 6-6 or better, probably 5-3, 4-4 in the MAC, kind of keep a 500 record in both overall and conference to keep his job after this year. But here's what he said on his fellow former Michigan football quarterback, Jim Harbaugh, and the Michigan Wolverines. He says, "We watched all the Michigan film. They're a playoff team. Coach Harbaugh and his staff, I really believe, have done a wonderful job recruiting some of the best talent that we have seen at Michigan." That's a long time Michigan football assistant coach, grad assistant, student assistant, and former quarterback. The guy at Tom Brady said, hey, he's the reason I became such a good quarterback. His guidance when Brady was a junior, senior starting in 98, 99. Scott Loeffler was a grad assistant. If you want Michigan to look flawless, I can't say if you want them to win because that just seems disingenuous. But we are, I think I've got the math right, 26 of 27. The only time it didn't happen was the Michigan State game in 2021. We put out the Wednesday or Tuesday vibes. This will go out Thursday as well. Midweek vibes. Like the video. Like this video. Putting the good vibes out in the world. Michigan will look flawless. They will look flawless against Bowling Green. 42-0 at halftime, 59-0 win, something like that. JJ McCarthy, 22 of 23, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns. Blake Corum, 200 yards rushing, something like that. Make sure you like the video. Don't jinx it. YouTube give us a list of viewers now, a list of likers. If they don't match up and Michigan doesn't look flawless, something bad happens, I'm coming for you. That is a guarantee right there. So like the video. Don't be a jerk. Don't jinx it. Leffler had more to say on this Michigan football team. He says, and really just his time at Michigan and returning to Michigan Stadium. He says, we're tremendously grateful for the relationships that I have from that place. I say this all the time, and I learned from Gary Moeller the first week I was in camp. He said, you'll never be able to repay Michigan back for what Michigan is going to do for you, and that's the message that we try to teach our players here meaning in this case, the Bowling Green State University Falcons. How about this Bowling Green staff, right? There's a little bit of Michigan flair on this Bowling Green staff. So long-time Michigan football player, Michigan football great in a lot of ways. Steve Morrison, he is their linebackers coach. Eric Campbell, Soup Campbell. This is the one, I mean, he's been there for the entire time Leffler's been there. I remember him going there. I kind of forgot about it. But Soup Campbell was one of the great wide receiver coaches at Michigan in the history of college football. Really, look at his production when he was at Michigan from the mid-'90s up until 2007. For some reason, Rich Rod didn't keep him on staff. He went around college football, et cetera, was out of football for a while. Now he's been at Bowling Green for a couple years. But Michigan went 8, 9, 10 years straight with a 1,000-yard receiver, Braylon Edwards, Mario Manningham, Ty Streets, David Terrell, et cetera, et cetera. And he didn't really pick up anywhere else. I'm not really sure why. How about Kevin Tolbert, a guy who's worked for Jim Harbaugh in different phases, was at Michigan on the strength staff 2015 to 17. He is now the strength coach at Bowling Green. Also was with Harbaugh 2011 to 2014. All 4 seasons Jim Harbaugh was at Stanford. Kevin Tolbert was his strength coach with Stanford, the 49ers. Prior to that, he was with Stanford. So he spent 2009 to 14, 6 straight years with Harbaugh, Stanford and the 49ers, and then Harbaugh's first 3 years at Michigan. I think they let him go for, performance issues. Michigan really wasn't, pushing guys off the ball in 2017. They brought in some new blood. That's fine. Was also with Michigan. Tolbert was 2001 through 2007. So this guy between Harbaugh and Michigan has basically spent, 15, 18 years of his professional career. Kevin Tolbert, he is the strength coach there at Bowling Green. So some Michigan players, 4 of their core staff members have a ton of Michigan ties, including, of course, head coach Scott Leffler. Let's take a look at the players to watch for Bowling Green, mostly focused on the offense, because if Michigan's going to win, Bowling Green's going to win this game or give Michigan some troubles, they're going to have to make it happen on offense. I'm not really too concerned about the Michigan offense struggling with the Bowling Green defense. You might remember this name, Connor Bazelak, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think I am. This season so far, 29 to 49, 390 yards, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, right? Really bad game, 3 picks in their opener in that loss to Bowling Green. I'll talk more about Bazelak here in a second. Terrion Stewart, the running back, 17 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns in the 2 games. Teron Keith, somebody to keep an eye out for this one. He's not the biggest threat running the ball. He's a running back. 6 catches in 2 games, 123 yards. But in his first 2 years at Bowling Green, 2021 and 2022, 61 catches. So, mid-20s the first year, 36, I believe it was, catches in 2022, his second year as a backup running back. So they can sneak him out of the backfield a bunch, get some catches. He can make some things happen, certainly do some damage. And then their tight end is their leading receiver right now. Harold Finnan Jr. is a tight end, 9 catches, 138, and a touchdown. Let's go over to Connor Bazelak. So his stats so far this year, we just talked about a second, but look at these stats here, 25 of 49. What is that picture of? Is that a Michigan helmet? This guy has literally been everywhere. He was actually Indiana for 1 season, starting quarterback last year. As I started to do my research in August about the different teams Michigan was playing this year, I'm like, how do I know that name? Certainly looked him up, took a look. Oh yeah, he was Indiana's quarterback this past year. They didn't play that well against that bad against Michigan, right? He was sacked 7 times in the game. Was not only Indiana's starting quarterback last year, he was at Missouri for 3 years prior to that. So he was Missouri's starting quarterback in 2020, the COVID shutdown season. Some pretty good stats, 2,366 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 picks in 2020 in a limited amount of games. And then 2,548 yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions in 2021. Transfers to Indiana, starting quarterback there last year, 2,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Ended up losing his starting job, and it's kind of starting in Missouri. So 1 year in college, starter, transfer starter, now transfer to Bowling Green. So starting for his third program in the last 3 seasons, 4th year as a starter in college football overall. Missouri, Indiana, and now Bowling Green. Quite a ride for him. Was a 4-star recruit back in the 2019 class. 4-star recruit, about 380 overall in the 24/7 Sports composite. Michigan beat him up a little bit last year. They sacked him 7 different times. So maybe he's got a little revenge factor on it. I think what I saw against Liberty, I didn't really pay attention to the film this past week when they beat Eastern Illinois. Watch the film against Liberty. He's in for a world of hurt against Michigan. If he doesn't throw 2-3 interceptions, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. But he can't throw the ball. He's got some talent, so I bet he'll put up a couple hundred yards, but I don't think that he's going to have any threat putting Michigan in danger of losing this game or even being too close once we get into the second half of this game. Reminder, predict the score, Michigan, Bowling Green. Put in the live chat if you're watching live. That's cool. But also comment on one of the on-demand videos this week. Just put the score and then put whoever you're going to have win, right? It'll make it easier if you also put the win on one of our videos. And you also must like the video that you commented on to qualify. We're up in the level. We're going to give away $25. At least put the score in and then like the video in the comments on one of our videos this week. Next up to talk about this game, will the JJ McCarthy show roll on? It has been all JJ McCarthy. I think Michigan State's quarterback, Noah Kim's making some noise. People are excited about him. He's got kind of similar stats to JJ, but he hasn't looked as good as JJ. Drew Aller as well. Aller probably had 2 or 3 passes in his first 2 games that should have been picked off. I think at least 2 of them were probably going back for pick 6 that just literally went through the arms of a defender. That's not what JJ's had here. JJ has looked flawless, 87% passing so far, 558 yards, 5 touchdowns. Is this a September Heisman for him, or is he the real deal? And is this Michigan offense the real deal? As you've heard me say on the live show and the shows we put out, Jim Harbaugh called him maybe a generational quarterback, maybe compared him to, generational quarterback, but compared him to Andrew Luck, I should say. I said this last fall. Jim Harbaugh is certainly someone who does not give free rein to his quarterback. You're never going to see a first-year starter for Jim Harbaugh come out and throw 40 touchdowns like Ohio State's done, a handful of times over the past few years. Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud and Dwayne Haskins, RIP, in their first years. You look back to Andrew Luck, generational quarterback, his second year in the program, 13 touchdowns, 2,600 yards passing, 4 interceptions. Look at the jump he took in that second year, up to 32 touchdowns in his third year in the program, second-year starter, just like JJ McCarthy is at Michigan. So a 19-touchdown leap, nearly a 1,000-yard leap in passing. Jim Harbaugh trusts him, lets it ride. I'm thinking that you can see the same leap, that it's not just a one-time thing. If JJ is going to remain a force at quarterback, Michigan can and maybe will win the national championship. I am picking them to win the national championship. I don't think they can beat Georgia or whoever comes out, Florida State maybe, even Texas, right? I just don't think you're going to win one of these games with other programs that have either the best athletes like a Georgia does. Maybe they don't have the best quarterback, but they have the best roster. Alabama, we'll see what happens to them. They've got 1 loss. They're still definitely in it. But against teams like Florida State or Texas in the playoff, they're going to lose, Michigan is, if they can't throw the ball, if they can't go head-to-head, if they can't go up by 20 points in the first half like Georgia and TCU have done on them the last 2 years in the first half. JJ McCarthy is off to a nice start, okay? 87% completion, already 5 touchdowns passing. So he's on pace, if you were to kind of, put this out over 12 games, the regular season, on pace for 30 touchdowns passing. And he hasn't really played in either of the fourth quarters. Okay, cool. And if you think about a playoff game, a Big Ten championship game, maybe a national championship game, have a couple games you break out, I think J.J. McCarthy reasonably should end up with 35-plus touchdowns. If he doesn't hit 30, folks, I think something has gone drastically wrong with the coaching and, frankly, probably with J.J. McCarthy's own confidence and play if at this point, with 10 games to go in the regular season and as many as 13 more games left in the season altogether, if J.J. McCarthy can't get himself at least 25 more touchdown passes. McCarthy is in my Heisman Trophy race. If you guys haven't seen this, I put it on Twitter every Monday or Tuesday this entire season. Caleb Williams, still number 1 for me. He's played an extra game, but he's looked good in all 3 of them. Quinn Ewers, Jordan Travis, they've jumped up in there. They weren't necessarily even on my top 10. Maybe Travis was in the preseason. With their top 5 wins, Ewers this past Saturday over Alabama on the road, Travis over LSU in the opening weekend, and that Sunday night game in a neutral site game. Michael Penix has been throwing the ball all over the field, only quarterback in Indiana to beat Michigan over the last 35 years. He is now transferred to Washington the past 2 years. Shedeur Sanders, we'll see what things shake out. A lot of people have him ranked higher than I do. Sam Hartman, Notre Dame, looked good. He's really going to be a make-or-break candidate based on what he does against Ohio State on September 23rd. I got JJ McCarthy, Drew Aller. Only thing holding those guys back, it's not stats, it's not performance, it's opponents at this point. Keon Coleman, Michigan State, transferred to Florida State, scored another touchdown. He's got 4 in 2 games, and then Travis Hunter at Colorado. I think both those guys at the bottom, it's going to depend on how many touchdowns or game-breaking plays on defensive special teams that Travis Hunter make, whether or not they're going to stay in this top 10 past this week. Has the Michigan offense changed? That's what I am looking at this week. I think that this week and next week are going to tell us a lot. Both opponents, Michigan should easily win. Rutgers, Bowling Green this week, that's fine. But the difference in approach is what I'm most interested in seeing is, will Michigan let JJ cook, or will they kind of make it, hey, we got to be a running team, force that, even if it doesn't work like it hasn't the last 2 weeks as strongly as Michigan has in the past. We're going to find out that this week. And then Jim Harbaugh comes back against Rutgers. Will he make any drastic changes to the offense now that he's back on the sidelines? I don't know. We're going to find out a week from Saturday. And then see what happens on the road in Nebraska. So by the end of September, we're going to be 5 games into the season, 5 out of 12, which is crazy. There's 5 Saturdays in September. But by the end of September, first road game against Nebraska, big noon kickoff on September 30th. I think you should know everything you need to know on this Michigan football offense. Will the passing game continue to be featured against Bowling Green? Will continue to be featured as Michigan gets into the Big Ten channel? That is the biggest question, or Big Ten schedule, I should say, the biggest question that this team has, and I'm looking for over the next 2 and 3 games for Michigan football. One more question for you guys. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, give me a Y in the comments or a no live chat as well. If you have, give some shout outs. Want to know who has. Make sure we're always giving attribution, showing some love to the audience. That's a big part of how we've approached the show, giving the community a voice on our program. We feature your questions on the show. We do all kinds of giveaways. So let me know if you subscribe, a Y for yes or an N for no. All right, there it is. Michigan football news and rumors. Talked a lot about Jim Harbaugh, the defense, the offense, what we expect a little bit this weekend, our Q&A, and Michigan Bowling Green preview. Some questions that I think just things to look for. This isn't an exciting off-season, out-of-conference schedule for the second straight year. We'll see what we get. I hope Michigan plays a flawless game against Bowling Green. I hope that JJ McCarthy continues to look the part, and it wasn't a 1 or 2 week aberration in the passing game. Let me ask you guys about the duck race. Did you like it? Yes or no? Let me know in the live chat. Give me a Y or an N. If you like the duck race, we got Jim Prindable won that Michigan football long sleeve T-shirt. We're going to do another one on Saturday night after halftime, but we're going to do it. It's going to be a 50-50 raffle, just like you see at like a high school soccer game or volleyball game or basketball game. You get little tickets. Get there. Anyone on Wednesday or Thursday, today or tomorrow, who Venmos me, it's at James-Yoder-1. At James-Yoder-1. Make sure you send it to the right one, James-Yoder-1. We'll link it after this video. I'll put it on Twitter and stuff too. So make sure you send it to the right one. It's a picture of me with my son. $5 Wednesday or Thursday, Venmo. You were in the race after halftime on Saturday night. And then the ticket prices go up on Friday and Saturday if you want in there. It's going to be $10 to get in the race. 50-50 raffle. That's why we're doing it through Venmo, so YouTube doesn't take their 30% cut and then 6%, 7% sales tax. We want to make sure that the 50-50 winner, that money is going straight back to you, and I'll Venmo the winner back who wins the duck race. So doing that, you got a discount Wednesday and Thursday if you want to be in it and have a chance to win some money. Hopefully it'll be several $100s coming up on Saturday to that winner. The duck race winner was Jim Prindable. So Jim, I'm going to DM you after the show. Make sure we got your information, but you said the same size and information, but I'll follow up with you to confirm and make sure you've got that shirt incoming in the next couple of days. Thank you so much for the $25 super chat for Jim. Jack, do we have a list of all the people who joined? We'll give some shout outs. You want to jump on and give all those people on the duck race a last minute shout out before we sign off?
Yeah, here we go. Shout out to Dylan Carson, Iceman Comp, Zachary D'Onofrio, Rick Harford, Zach Jenkins, Brett Scott, Sean Isham, myself, A-Train132, Jim Prindable, of course, our winner, Jeremy Clore, Troy Winslow, and Dan Gallagher.
Yep. Thank you so much, all you guys. Quite a few of you guys got on the helmet, and I hope you enjoyed the duck race. And that's that. It's been the Michigan Football Report. We are signing off 2 hours to the minute almost after we started. It is 5 o'clock somewhere and that is in the East Coast in Michigan if you're watching, which many of you are. Make sure you guys type Go Blue to end this video and give the video a like before we head out today. We've got more likes now than concurrent viewers, so thank you so much to everyone who did. But we're still 12 likes away from hitting the 100 mark. So if you can, before you guys go, before we sign off, give this video a like and spam Go Blue. Make sure that the last 2 hours that hopefully we spent together, spent most of it with us, gets this video into the feed of more Michigan football fans so people can watch it later on in the show. Got a Go Blue from Bill Graves, Julian Leal with a Go Blue. Yes for Julian. Barry Benson says yes, they've subscribed to the channel. Sean Isham says JJ returns in 2024. I don't know about that at this point. If he continues to play well, he's going to be a top 10 draft pick. Account 22 says a much more dynamic offense. Yes, for Michigan. Jim Printable with a Go Blue and a Bosa. Like the video, we're going to sign off as 5 o'clock Eastern. Video's going out later tonight, 2.5 hours from now. We're going to put out the news and rumor segment from the beginning of the show. Preview going up tomorrow afternoon. And then Friday, we will have the Michigan football mailbag. And I think, actually, I'm going to do an early video on Saturday with kind of some latest depth chart injury information that we get later in the week. So keep an eye out for a video about 5-6 hours before kickoff on Saturday. Join us again live, 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night. We'll be live for 5 hours and 15 minutes, almost to the minute, for Michigan football pregame, Bowling Green watch party, and then our Michigan football Bowling Green postgame show. For Young Harbaugh, I am James Yoder. Go Blue. Thanks to everyone who has watched. Phil Newsom, Jim Printable, Julian Leal, Bill Graves, the last 4 Go Blues on the stream. I see you guys next time. Go Blue.